Tom Bourne. An old friend.
Yes.
An old adversary.
Yeah, we had a bit of a rivalry, didn't we?
We were, weren't we?
On the mean streets of Loughborough.
Yeah, tennis kids.
Yeah.
Back when people used to go out and play tennis and do things on the street.
What? They used to go outside and interact with people?
Literally go outside, yeah.
Join clubs and stuff?
Yes, and go to the tennis club on a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock.
Spend the whole day there.
With £2 in your pocket. You'd walk down to the McDonald's at lunchtime, and then you'd come back and you'd play some more.
Or even have a cheese and ham toasty, live the dream.
Yes.
Or some giant strawberries.
How times have changed.
I'm still there, mate. I'm still a member.
You still a member of
Yeah,
Loughborough Town
I've
Tennis
rejoined,
Club?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same.
I saw Tony Middleditch the other day.
The godfather
The
of
Godfather,
of
and Sandra,
tennis.
yes. But we've we've parted company and then come back with tennis and all these things, but been through some similar shit, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Been through some hardships.
Big
and
time.
some marriage breakups and some mental health issues.
Definitely.
And you are partly to blame for this right here. Because we had a conversation on the phone a few times, a year and a half, 2 years
about a year and a half ago, mate, yeah.
Talking about there being a place for men to connect and talk about their issues, their relationship problems, their mental health issues. And we were on the phone for a couple of hours. And from that was born my TikTok channel. And my TikTok channel's got 200,000 followers.
Where's the royalties?
Yes, maybe. And that was initially what it started as.
Did, yeah.
So my channel's called End the Struggle for that reason.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I wanted. You know, let's cut to the chase. I was suicidal.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for maybe 1 or 2 extra rums one night, probably wouldn't have been it.
Yeah.
So this whole journey has been formulated from me hitting rock bottom and wanting to almost hold myself accountable for pulling myself out of it by recording every step of the way.
Yeah.
And that's literally what I did. So I started making videos about, I'm going to stop drinking, I'm going to stop doing, I'm going to stop drinking. But I was drinking every day on my own.
Yeah, I remember you saying, yeah.
Every day. You come home from work, and I'm not saying you get plastered, but every day. Drinking rum, a few beers, just to, I guess, numb everything.
Yeah.
You know,
take the edge off.
You know those first couple of beers?
Yeah.
When you literally don't care about anything. You're just like, it don't matter, I've got bills to pay, it don't matter. Everything, for those 2 hours, nothing matters.
Escapism.
Total escapism. But then everything comes like a tsunami the next morning.
Yeah.
You hate yourself, you feel depressed. And then by 2-3 o'clock the next afternoon, you say to yourself every morning, I'm not going to have a drink today.
Yeah.
And by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock,
craving it.
it's there again.
Yeah.
That little devil on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Just have a couple of beers tonight, feel nice.
The
Feel
chimp,
all right,
the
feel
chimp,
good.
mate, the chimp.
And so I just literally started recording everything and started researching supplements that were going to help me increase testosterone because I felt 0 sex drive, 0 competitive edge, wasn't interested in anything. I'd lost all of that kind of manliness that I used to have.
Numb.
Yeah.
Blurred.
Blurred and numb and
Lost.
Yeah. And I just started pulling my phone out of my pocket and recording some videos. And very quickly, it started to snowball. And I started getting people messaging me saying, you might not realise this, but your videos have helped me.
Yeah.
Because I feel exactly how you do. And the more I got into it, the more I thought, because let's not beat around the bush here. I've been, throughout my life, a confident, fairly decent looking.
Good looking, mate. Look at you.
Good looking-ish.
Oh, I'm saying it now, mate. Put it out
Big,
there.
strong,
Yeah.
not scared of a scrap. I've been that kind of guy.
Yeah.
And that kind of guy doesn't go through what I've went through, is what people think.
Yeah.
But they do. And the more I started saying how I'd been feeling and how I was taking things into my own hands now and trying to make it better, the more it resonated with people. To the point where I've got people messaging me saying, it's a really funny story. It was probably about 6 months ago. I was in the gym in Loughborough, saw this young lad, and he was with his girlfriend, or a girl. It was his girlfriend, but I didn't know that for sure. And they keep looking over, keep looking over. I thought nothing of it. Anyway, later on that day, I get a message on Instagram, on my End the Struggle Instagram, not my personal Instagram. It says, "Were you in Loughborough Gym today?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was." And he was like, "I can't believe it. Can I meet up with you?" I was like, "Of course you can." So I went and met this guy for a coffee. He was like, "I thought it was you." He says, "I live in Peterborough. I'm having a shit time, drug abuse, mental health issues." He says, "Started seeing some of your videos. Really helped me. Got myself in the gym, started doing all of the things that you sort of followed you along." And he said, "I decided to move away from all these negative people that were having a negative impact on my life.
The
and
drains.
I chose to come to Loughborough."
Yeah.
And he says, "Of all the places I could have come to, in Pure Gym in Loughborough, I see you there." And I'm thinking, you have absolutely no idea the impact that pulling your phone out and being honest with somebody can have. You have no idea. And a year later, I've got 200,000 followers. I've got a book that's almost ready to be released. I've got a podcast. We've just been laughing about this, but I've just met one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet. She's a dominatrix, professional. And we've had giggles and laughs about it, but you wouldn't believe that from a little conversation that you and I had, and I can remember being in my kitchen, having it on my phone with you, where it can lead. If you are open and honest, willing to admit the mistakes you've made, and willing to show people that there is a different way out other than abuse, substance abuse, self-sabotage. So, in a convoluted way, you are a big reason as to why. So it is bittersweet that you actually have reached out a couple of times and said, "Look, seen a couple of your podcasts, let's do it." And you're sat here now, and I don't think this is the end point. I think this is just the start of something.
Yes, well, we've got all kinds of common ground. So whether it's sport, health, honesty, changing things, experiencing things, paddle tennis, mate, all these things on the cards are exciting. Because
tell us about your life, though, Tom.
Well, yeah. So this is what I want to do. So basically, I lived a great life growing up. Although I struggled a bit because both my parents twice divorced. That was quite difficult because most people I hung around with had parents that stayed together. So it's quite rare. My second home was the tennis club, playing tennis all the time. That community was massive. The things we did together, tennis tours, hanging around at the tennis club, tennis tournaments. That's what we did in the summer. Like if I said to my son, now, 2 sons, 10 and 13, I said, "You are going to be dropped off in different tennis clubs around Leicestershire every week of the summer, and you're going to play tennis. When you're not playing tennis, you're going to have a laugh with your mates." Actually, it sounds quite good.
Sounds amazing.
You're going to play table
sounds
tennis
like our childhood.
and eat cheese toasties. We never went on holiday. We went on holiday to
Hunstanton.
To play tennis for a week. To play tennis. It's always evolved around tennis, right? You wouldn't do the stuff that I do with my kids now. So that was a second home. My tennis coach, Martin, obviously coached you as well. He was like a second father figure, as were lots of people at the tennis club, like Tony. John, all these people looked after us, didn't they?
They did.
We didn't really see it at the time, but they gave us lifts. They helped us out. They'd, teach us how to play men's tennis. I remember playing men's tennis when I was like 13, 14 with the old president, Harry. You learn to socialise with older people, don't you?
Yes.
So that led to, my schoolmates who I'm still in touch with all the time, schoolmates and my tennis mates. So when you get to, 15, 16, 17, you start going out. You've got 2 sets of mates. It's all good. Used to go to different bars with different mates, different clubs with different mates, and the social scene was big, wasn't it? Because we socialised with men.
Yeah.
So we used to go out with grown men on nights out as 17, 18-year-olds, and people probably frown upon that now, but it was a hell of an education. People looked after each other. You had a good time, you had a good laugh. So off I went to university. I didn't do as well in my A-levels as I should have done.
Because we both went to the same school, didn't
yeah,
we?
we won the county tennis championships, mate. In my year 13, in year 12, who were the other people? I don't even know who they were in the team. There's 4 of us. I sent you the picture.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the 2 people.
They were just normal, average, sporty lads, weren't they? I think.
But they must have won a match for us to win it. It can't have just been you winning one and me winning one, and us winning the doubles.
I think I remember one match where I was playing doubles with one of these players, and literally they were just walked off the court and let me play the point out.
Anyway,
who was the coach? Was it Heathcote?
I don't think we could call him a coach. I think he was just organiser.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Heathcote, the legend, Mr. Heathcote. But anyway, so off I went to university. I didn't do so well in my A-levels, basically because I'd spent a bit too much time going out. That's the truth. So off I went to Bedford, which wasn't my first choice. I wanted to go to Leeds or where else? I can't remember else where I was applying. So off I went to Bedford and had a great time first year.
What did you study?
Sports science.
Yeah.
So I was always wary about money. In fact, I remember thinking some of the players, obviously we know, who went and did scholarships in the States. We could have both done that easily. And I remember thinking I'm not good enough. So I had that saboteur to think I'm not good enough or I can't afford it, so why do it? So I went to university on a full grant. And if I didn't have a full grant, I probably wouldn't have gone to university. So when I was at university, I was always working, grafting on the side, working in restaurants, bit of tennis coaching, etc. Got through 2 years of uni, had a great time, lots of socialising, lots of sport and success. Won a book silver medal in my first year with a guy who played at Hunstanton, a guy called Kev Rudd, who I'm still in contact with, legend. Then went to the States for the summer in 1998, coaching tennis in Connecticut, living the dream. I just met a girlfriend about 2 weeks before I went, absolutely stunning, great person, got together with her, went to the States, and then I came back, and I remember I've been on such a high in the States. I've been to America coaching for 10 weeks. I'd experienced travelling, socialised. I played a demonstration tennis match at this camp in front of 1,000 people or something ridiculous against this guy who had played back in the day with Agassi, and he destroyed me. But there's loads of people watching. It's just a different level of sport, isn't it? In America. Yeah. So off I've gone, came back to uni. Girlfriend picked me up from the airport. I thought, right, I've got 3rd year to go. Moved into this house with my mates. And got to sort of October time, something just wasn't right. And I remember sitting in my room and I was thinking, I just don't feel right today. I don't feel myself. Not really, I was thinking, I think my heart was just sort of in the States. I had such a great time. And then it just I just thought I'd retracting and stepping back from things. And I was depressed. And I couldn't work out why I was depressed. Because it was like living in this great house, really great mates, all supportive, no idiots, got a great girlfriend. And I just stopped, like down tools. And I remember remember those inflatable chairs that everyone had? I had one of them inflatable chairs in my room. I sat on that. I just sat there. I sat there for the day, just sat on it, staring around, thinking, what is going on? And my mate came in, Raz. He's like, what's up, mate? I said, mate, I don't know. I said, he goes, you've been sat there all day. I said, yeah, I know. He goes, what can I do? I said, you want to go for a beer? I was like, no. You want to kick football? Right? No. You want to play tennis? You want to whatever? I said, I don't want to do anything, mate. I'm just like someone to switch me off. So I came home from uni, spent some time at home, got some support, didn't really know what was going on, and didn't really get to the bottom of it. So I went back to uni, everything was all right. I sort of pushed on through, got my degree, came out of that, moved to London, got a job, did my teaching qualification, played a lot of tennis in London, played at a high-profile club, won the Middlesex Cup, big titles, big setup. Had a great time in London. I had my 2 best mates down there. By this stage, I met my now ex-wife. So we were getting together. It was all good. Everything was good. So I got into a really good school, worked in a private school as a sports coach. Then they allowed me to do my teacher training. So I was the first person to do teacher training at this prestigious private school. Just went from there, did that, got through my NQT year. Ex-wife was working in a challenging school, so she wanted to get out. So we went travelling for a year, did that, came back to Leicestershire for 6 months, didn't know whether to go back to London or get a job in Leicestershire. I turned down a job in Leicester, which in hindsight I wish I'd taken, but just the way it goes. So we went back to London, had a great time, lived together, friends down there, got married, had kids, did all the things you're supposed to do, very, happy. Then got in 20, just the same kind of stuff, tennis, socialising, experiences, living London life. Like things in London would be like, you'd be at school on a Wednesday and some mate would come in and go, do you want to go and see Paul Weller tonight? I've got a free ticket. Yeah, all right, let's do it. So we did everything, concerts, events, the Olympics, all that kind of stuff. Then I was always wanting to get promoted, so I got a couple of internal promotions. Then I want to be a head of department. I want to get to the top of my profession. That's where I want to go. That's my plan. So I got there, got a job back in Leicestershire, and was there for almost 9 years. First 5 or 6 years, very happy. Then there was a change in the management structure. Things changed. I was put under a lot of pressure. People were made redundant unexpectedly. And it was just like, my identity has always been my job. I've been very proud to be tennis coach, sports teacher, PE teacher, tutor, mentor, all these things. It's your identity, isn't it? Mm. You've got your identity, haven't you? You've got all these different identities, but your identity was tennis and tennis coaching. Yes. That's who you are. Yeah. People say, Nick Rose, you're a tennis coach, right? I was the same. So here I am, director of sport, top of my profession. And things, right at stage, things started to change a bit in my marriage. So my wife actually said, there's a life coach I know that needs some people to train, to, be sort of guinea pigs, if you like, as part of a training. So we did a bit of that, met this woman. It was a video call. She was in Australia and really clicked with her, and she asked me some really interesting questions. I started thinking about, what am I doing? You just get into this habit of life, don't you?
Yep.
Monday to Friday, kids are playing football at this time. Before you know it, you just go, and you're like, a month goes past, and you think, what have I done for myself? Well, I was doing stuff for myself, but I wasn't necessarily enjoying the stuff I was doing for myself. So I started to fall out of love with tennis for a little bit, which was weird. So I started playing squash, and I really enjoyed squash. Fitted better in with my lifestyle because I could go and play for 45 minutes, work really hard, get a sweat on, and I actually got to a pretty high level internally at the squash club. Still played a bit of tennis, but wasn't playing competitively anymore. But yeah, things happen with, with the marriage where it's like we're drifting apart. We're co-parenting. It's not the same. And it's like, you're like, right, we need to sort this out. So we tried to sort it out. Couldn't, we just didn't really, almost there, but not quite. And I thought to myself, right, I want to be a life coach. This is what I want to do. And my ex-wife is so supportive, absolutely amazing. She's a kinesiologist, so she helps people. She gives people a body MOT, gets rid of people's toxins and gives them nutrition and stuff. So I'd had all this for free for like a decade. She runs a very successful business. So I thought, she was like, yeah, do it. So my gran passed away. She had dementia. It was just horrible, absolutely heartbreaking. But I got some inheritance. So I was like, what am I going to do with it? So I was like, I'm going to buy myself a nice road bike, number one. I'm going to treat myself. So I did that. I've still got the bike, really treasure it. Got myself a nice laptop, and it was like, right, I'm going to invest in my life coaching. It's really expensive to train with the right. There's a lot of people who who say they're life coaches, a load of BS. They're not life coaches. They're just someone who's done a weekend course. It's a load of rubbish. So this lady I'd worked with told me about the Coactive Training Institute, and it's like the biggest life coaching body and business leadership body in the world, right? So CTI for short, massive in Spain, all came from the States, huge in the States. All the research of the company came out of Harvard in the 60s and 70s, right? So this is the place to go and train. It costs a fortune to go and do it.
How much?
So I've invested well over 10 grand in my training.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a huge
amount of money.
Huge amount of money.
Huge amount of money.
Yeah.
So you do the initial training, and then you can do the additional like a master's. Basically, I'm at the stage now where at some point I will do my master's. Okay, but you become accredited with the International Coaching Federation. You become
a little bit like our tennis coaching.
Exactly the same, mate. Exactly the same. Yeah. So there's loads of people who say they're tennis coaches and they're not. We know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did the training, met wonderful people. This was all around COVID time. Met people. It was all online, which I was a bit skeptical about because I wanted to do it in person. I'm a people person. Anything that you can do in person, I'll always do it first, even if it's a speed awareness. I've got a speed awareness course coming up, right? First one ever. I'm going to go and do it in person because I don't want to sit in front of I'm just not that guy. We're people, aren't we? Right? So I started doing the training, and this lady Claire, who'd been coaching me, she said, number one, she goes, it's the best thing you'll ever do for yourself. She said, even if you don't go and monetize, you don't have a business as a life coach, she said, it's the best amount of self-exploration you will ever do. Mm-hmm. Then she said, the people you meet on the course will be your friends for life, and they will be there for you. It's like a brotherhood, sisterhood. And I was like, yeah, she's just saying that, isn't she? Right, whatever.
Just to sell it.
Yeah. So went and did it. You do 5 modules. It's amazing. So we've got a WhatsApp group with all the coaches I've worked with from around the world in this WhatsApp group. You can say, I could message them now. These are people. One of the guys was in charge of IKEA for Europe. One guy ran VW in the UK. One guy works for a massive drinks brand.
Why would somebody of that ilk go onto these courses?
Because these people, a lot of people had corporate burnout. They'd reached the top of their profession, and they'd gone, well, I'm not happy, or I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, right? So if you think about what we do in life, and we've all got friends who don't enjoy what they're doing. I can go down to the pub, meet some mates, say, oh, mate, how are you? Oh, don't ask. How's work? Don't ask. You're like, why not? It's where you spend most of your time. I hate it. Okay. Have you thought about changing it? I can't. And you're like, okay, maybe someone can't change work for, really valid reasons. But my question would be, what's the damage that's going to do? If you do something that's going to make you unhappy, like I wouldn't go to Anfield every week. It'd make me unhappy. As United fan, right? But what I mean is,
happier than being a Man United fan and a Forest fan at the minute, mate.
But do you know what I mean? So that's almost a form of self-abuse. Mm-hmm. People who don't like what they do, but they spend most of their time doing it, and they feel trapped. And we've all seen these people, haven't we?
Constantly.
And it's like it scares me.
It's
because
9 people out of 10.
Yeah, but people, and then it seeps into their life. So then they, it has mental health impacts, physical health impacts. I've got friends who used to be the best sporty people at school. You'll know them. I'm not going to name them, but you'll know them. They used to play everything. Used to be better than me. Well, obviously not at tennis, but like better than me, all kinds of sports. And now I look at them and they're overweight. They are inactive. They're stressed, and they're miserable. So when you meet them, sometimes I sometimes hold back from telling people what I've been up to because I have been that guy in the past where someone says, how are you? And I say, oh, everything's great. And then I tell people, and they're like, oh, mate, shut up. Your life can't be like that. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Well, it is. Like, you're not going to, if you're happy and you're doing things, why not? When we met up at Leicestershire a couple of years ago, I knew you weren't yourself. And I probably wasn't myself. but at least we were doing stuff.
Yeah.
We sat, didn't we? I'd pulled my hamstring,
You absolutely
ripped my
killed yourself.
mate. I've absolutely destroyed my leg. Most
Caught
pain I've
one.
ever been in.
Caught one. Yes.
Winning.
Who against?
What's Stefan?
Stefan
Yeah,
Rubičić,
3-1
yes.
up in the third set, mate. Sun was shining.
But you were all right like 2 days later, weren't you?
Yeah, I beat someone on one leg.
Yeah.
Sorry, shout out to that guy, but yeah, I beat someone on one leg. But what I mean is, even though we weren't ourselves, we weren't in a healthy place then for various reasons. What we were experiencing, we were still going and doing what we love, which is so the tennis community. So when I've struggled with depression, a mate of mine, a guy who I met playing tennis, and he was in the same team as me. And the first couple of times I met him, I thought, this guy, he's an idiot. He's full of himself. He's not a team player. I don't really like him. And then I got to know him, and you got to know behind the ego, behind the mask. And he messaged me when I was struggling, and he goes, one of the best messages I've ever received. He goes, don't you dare forget you are loved and valued. And it just hit me right there. I was like, fuck, whoa, yeah. I was like, he's got me. And that really hit home, because most people, when you're not well, they'll message generic stuff, won't they? Which is lovely.
Yeah.
But you need a message like that, which is 2 lines, which gets to your heart, and you go, oh yeah, I can't see it at the moment,
no.
but he's recognised it, and it's come from the most
random
source,
yeah.
right? Anyway, so with the coaching people, you coach each other, so you learn everything about each other's lives. So these people, I've only met 2 of them in real life, but I've shared their lives. Like there's a lady who was coaching me who's in North London, and she's now married, got a kid. She had some health problems when she was doing the coaching, and I messaged her the other day. And I was like, I'm so happy for you that there's a picture of you and your kid, and it's like we know each other, and it's happened with all these different people. So you did that training, and I thought, right, things at the school was out weren't going very well, so it's like, right, I need to get out of education. I need to get out. So I'm out for various reasons, but I completely lost my identity, because I was like, my identity was my job. And my ego is saying, I'm Tom Bourne, director of sport. This is what I do. I'm so proud of what I do. So proud of providing for my family. So proud of support. I've spent my whole career, like you, supporting people as tennis coaches, teachers, mentors, friends. You support. That's what you do, which is, I think, is one of the most valuable human interactions.
Of course.
Because if you're not supporting people or helping people, then what's the point, So started doing some different things, started doing some sports recruitment work. I still do that work for Sport USA. So I've actually been recruiting a female athlete yesterday, actually, who's hopefully going to go to the States, and a basketball player. So I love doing that, because I wish I'd done it. So when I send someone to the States, it's like I'm living through them.
Yeah.
But I'm supporting them, right? Do some work for Mindset College, which is a sports psychology package used by professional athletes, run by a guy called Dave Samuel. He's been a mentor to me and really helpful, really direct, ATP coach, but so in tune with mindset. He works with professional athletes. He works for University of Bath. Again, so it all links into mentoring and life coaching and life experiences, right? So all these things are coming together. They're in the melting pot, right? I went on a podcast. It's called Beyond One Lens. So this lady contacted me on LinkedIn.
I listened to it. You sent it, man.
Yeah, I loved it. And I probably at the time, I probably promoted it in the wrong way. Maybe not organically. I probably posted it too many times. But some people, and this is not a slight on anyone that I know, but we have drains and radiators in life, don't we? Right? You're a radiator. When Nick Rose is around, people know, because you radiate interaction, warmth. That's you, right? You're a character, and you're not a character pretending to be. You're you. You are. There's an essence that's you. Mm-hmm. No one else has it. I'm the same, right? And I think some people didn't engage with it, and they're thinking, what's he doing? He used to be a teacher. What's this life coaching? I don't understand it. And obviously life coaching gets a bit of a bad rep with people who don't look into it. So I got some really good positive responses from it as well. One was from you. And I've always found it interesting, the people who are curious about what you're doing and the people who aren't bothered. There's people on it who just aren't bothered like about what you do. And I think, I'm always interested in what people are doing. Some of my best mates haven't got a clue what they do at work because it's a job title that I don't understand. And I sometimes ask them, I go, what do you do? Like as a teacher, a tennis coach, it's really obvious what you do, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I've got met, I go, what?
Half the time they don't know what
Yeah,
they do.
I do. If it's, you know, what do you do? I was chatting to a mate a while ago. He goes,
answer emails and answer phone calls.
yeah, he goes, I do the risk assessments for helipads around Leicestershire. I said, what?
How many of them are there?
Well, loads. He goes, I go, it's part of my job. I said, I never knew you did that. And he's like, we never asked. I said, well, I thought you work at the airport for. He goes, yeah, but I have to do the helipads now. What? So every now and again he goes around and risk assess to make sure that people are flying into Leicestershire. They're regulated. You can't just fly whatever you want into Leicestershire. It's not like it's not
if you'd
Colombia.
asked me how many there were, I'd have probably said maybe less than 5.
Mate, there's so much wealth in our county.
Yeah.
Tucked away. We'll find out. That's a podcast on the road.
We'll find out. Yeah.
Nick and Tom on helipads.
Yeah. Wow.
You probably have a helicopter soon, the way you're going.
I don't know about that.
But what I was going to, just to summarise on that, is the life coaching was the most powerful thing I've done, and it led me to listening to a podcast from 2 high up UK coaches in lockdown called Safe Harbour, and the whole point of the podcast was a place where men could talk, right, and just let it all out, no judgment, just you get listened to. Now it turns out one of the guys is from Mansfield, right? And he now lives down south. And this is again a sliding doors moment. So I've contacted him. I said, I really like your work. I want to do some work with you. I want to have a conversation with you. Like you're my kind of guy, right? And I was struggling mentally. And I was on Facebook, and his course came up that he was doing a man circle, basically. You know, how generally speaking, women have all these circles, book clubs, circles. Coffees. We don't tend to do it as men.
No, definitely.
We don't have that outlet. So this came up on Facebook, and I contacted him, and he goes, I'm really sorry, mate, I haven't got any places left on this one. But he goes, I need to do another one for myself. So I was going to pay him to coach me or be part of the man circle. And he goes, I'm really struggling. He goes, I need one for myself. And he goes, I've seen that you're CTI. I've looked into your background. I've looked you up online and whatnot. And he goes, I'm going to do one with 4 of us, me and another mate who lives near him, and a guy in London who's also a CTI coach. So he created a man circle for us for free, right? So I'm working with the best coach, one of the best coaches in the UK for free for 6 months. And we meet every 2 weeks, and you're taking turns to let out what you're going through. He was going through a separation. I was going through a separation. Another guy was going through health issues and a separation. Another guy was going through all kinds of relationship issues. You let it out, no judgment. All you do is reflect. So all you do is you listen, then you reflect. No advice. You know, like when mates will tell you what to do. You say, I'm having trouble with my relationship. Or what? Yeah, and it's
Get
like,
rid of them, mate.
what? Mate, yeah, I haven't got a clue. So men, we try and fix things because we think things are fixed. But men are scared. If you say to someone down the pub, as an example, or on the tennis court or wherever, and you say, you're all right, and they go, no, I'm not, I'm really struggling.
You don't know how to react to
that person craps themselves, don't they?
Absolutely shits
right?
himself.
So we often just say we're right, we're not. So that's all the mental health thing where people say ask twice. Or if you've got an inkling or an intuition that someone's not right, follow it up. Like don't go, oh, my mate seemed a bit distant that night. Oh, he's probably just a bit tired. Like, ask again, right? So anyway, I did the work with these guys, and it's the best thing I've done, mate. Apart from the life coach training, it's the best thing I've done. And funnily enough, I left this guy a voice note the other day, Jamie, and I said, we haven't met, we've just seen each other, but I've seen him cry. His mum died, he's dealing with that, his separation, my separation, the other guy's health issues, and we held each other like a brotherhood. And we're due to meet. Now, since his mum died, his his dad's still in Mansfield, so he's coming up to Nottingham over Christmas. So I just sent him a message, said, look, mate, I'm around in Leicester and Nottingham. Let's get together. And he left me a message yesterday, voice note for 9 minutes. And he goes, you don't know how much I need a pint with you. And he goes, we're going to go out in Nottingham. We'll go for a walk. We'll have a pint. And he goes, can't wait. And I thought, what a journey I've been on that now we're helping each other. Never met in person, but it's just opening up. And it's like, I think things in life, here I am in Loughborough, back full circle. Today I did supply teaching in my middle school because my school broke up last Friday.
You were at Woodbrook?
Yeah, but mate, this week...
I've seen a couple of pictures you put on Facebook. Woodbrook. Were you there today?
Mate, Tuesday, Monday and Wednesday I was at Lutterworth. Tuesday and today I was at Woody, right? And I walked into Woody on Tuesday, walked down the corridor, and it just took me back straight to 1992. I was like, I'm off to Mr. Elliott's form room. Remember Mrs. Travis. I taught in the old school gym today. I did dodgeball. It's not changed a bit. And I could literally hear the voices of my PE teachers.
Smell the smells.
Yeah, mate. It's smell it.
There's
But
always a smell.
mate, it was like... And then the guy who's head of PE, he knows me from previous roles, chatting to him. And what's happened for me in the last 6 months is life's gone complete full circle. I'm playing back at the tennis club where I grew up. My tennis coach is still there. Mates that we've got, they're still there. Everyone's knocking about, aren't they? Yeah. Everyone we know from tennis, with the exception of a few people, are still in Leicestershire, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. It's a nice place to live. People enjoy it. I've gone back to my middle school and had a laugh. I'm teaching at a place where my stepdad taught for 30 years, my stepbrother went to. My boss is someone I know from university. And I think what I'm trying to say in summary, you asked me to waffle, mate. I'm having a good waffle
mate, it's called Pure Waffle for a reason.
Is what I've discovered more than anything, and we can't see this when we're not well, right? It doesn't matter what anyone says when you're not well. People who don't understand depression, no one can really understand how someone else is properly feeling.
No.
You can't make someone do something if they're switched off, if they're not right, for whatever reason. There's no judgment from me on that because I've been there. So I'd never judge anyone if they're like, if you've suddenly become depressed or things get on top of you, it's horrendous. It's the worst thing. So what I'm trying to say is people look after you. And the people that have looked after me, some people have been new people, my co-active coaches. Some people have been people from the tennis community. I've had some really nice messages from people, completely unexpected. I've bumped into people who've been nice to me. I've reconnected with you. But all my mates, they've always been there for me through thick and thin, whatever happens. My ex-wife was there for me. There's new things happening on a personal level, which are just incredible, like sliding doors stuff, amazing. But people look after you. Now, the reason people look after you is because they see the value in you, what you've put in to a relationship or being polite to someone or spending time with someone. So when we were chatting ages ago, we were reminiscing about the day you went to Wimbledon with your dad and your brother.
My brother, yeah.
And that's because, however we got the tickets at tennis club, however they were giving it out, they just happened to come, and your dad was the kind of guy who's like, right, we're going. And I think your dad picked me up. I think my brother, was it your brother's BMW?
Yeah.
I think he picked me up at 5. I think he picked me up at 5 in the morning. Something stupid. Because your dad's so excited. We're all excited. But we basically,
Well, I think what happened was we got a couple of tickets, and then the other two had to queue up to get ground passes.
Did we? I don't think we queued, did we?
No, so I think you and I had the tickets, and then my dad and my brother queued up.
Oh, mate.
So they had to be in the queue for 7 or 8 in the morning. I don't know what we did. I've got no idea what we did.
We wandered around going, this is pretty empty.
Just wandering around. So, yeah.
But what I mean is that's the excitement of going to Wimbledon and going, right, we're going to make a day of it. And other people have been, I'm not getting up at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning. And your dad was like, no.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. And I think we're both like that in the sense that I've done things in my life where if I want to do it, I'll go and do it. I bought some artwork recently. This is probably the first time my mum's going to hear about this. I won't tell you the figures involved, but I've seen this piece of artwork and I was like, I like that a lot. It just resonated with me. So I went into the gallery.
Is it a painting, sculpture?
Yeah, it's painting. by a guy called James McQueen. So this is an A-list English actor who goes under a pseudonym. So James McQueen is James Dean and Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
Right? So we know that it's like Banksy. So we know that he's 47. So is it Tom Hardy? Is it Orlando Bloom? You know, it could be anyone, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm in this gallery in Cheltenham, and I saw it, and I was like, I like that a lot. And because I'm moving house soon at some point, I'm like, that's what I want on the wall. So if I'm going to ask about a price, I'm like, okay, yeah, ooh, Then I'm like, looking at it and go, if I come in and look at that every day, I'm getting value out of that. Yeah. And it will go up in value anyway. I'm not into making money through art, but I just like it. So I get chatting to the guy, and he's like, this one's on reserve. He goes, it's the last one. It's on reserve. Some guys bought, there's two of them, Anthology 1 and Anthology 2, they're called. And he goes, look, this guy's bought both of them. I said, well, look, if anything happens, can you just give us a shout? He goes, yeah. So I didn't hear anything. Then I was in Stratford with my boys, and this gallery's got another branch in Stratford. I didn't even realise. Me and boys wandered around Stratford, crossed over the road, and I was like, oh, there's a gallery. I was like, oh, it's a Castle Gallery. I was like, oh, hang on. Went in, chatting to the woman in there. The woman in there was lovely, like proper customer service, like amazing. And she goes, yeah, I said, I've been to the one in Cheltenham, and I understand this one's been taken. And she goes, well, you know what? The guy's not paid for it yet. He's not even paid a deposit. She goes, I'll ring him tomorrow to see if he's serious, if he's messing us around. So sure enough, she rang him, and he only wanted one of them. He wanted the one that I didn't want. So she said, look, do you want it? I was like, yeah. And she was like, right, we've got a Christmas discount on at the moment. So money came off.
Bonus.
Gave her a tennis coaching lesson, I didn't. So that happened, and I got it. And they do these interest-free deals, so I'm paying like a tiny amount each month, and it gets delivered in January. And I'm like, I want that, I think I know we're the same. As if you want, I've seen what you've done in your life, whether it's been your Meet This Mexican or your drawing or your tennis. When you get your teeth stuck into something, you get it, don't you? You're all in.
All in,
mate. But that's because you go in without fear.
Yeah.
And some people go, who's this guy? But you like when I saw you, you'll Meet This Mexican, and I'm like, I'd heard about it. Obviously, you'd told me about it. But when I saw you in action that day, I'd been to yoga.
Yes, you had.
I'd been to hot pod yoga.
Young Ben was there with us.
You were there, weren't you?
Ben was there.
Oh, Benjamin.
Yes.
Benaldo. No? Is that me being like
Benaldo.
a dad joke? Is that Benaldo? I've been to hot pod yoga, which had helped me with my mental health and my physical health.
And there was a girl there at the same time, wasn't there?
I've been in hot pod yoga when the students are in there. I mean, we're talking like professional athletes.
Yes.
And you're at the back, and I'm not bad at yoga, but I do yoga, but I would never call myself a yogi. I'm not that flexible, right? And I remember the first time I went, there was like two athletes at the front, and I was thinking, the physical condition of these people is ridiculous. As a man and woman, I was like, wow, the discipline to get to that physique, but also to be doing this training. Anyway, that Saturday I remember seeing the girl walk out, similar again, must have been a student, must have been some athlete of some kind. Sure enough, I walked down Market Street in the sunshine, and someone's chatting to her on a bench outside a van. And I could hear this voice. I was thinking, Rosie! And then to see you in action, see your artwork on your van, from the way you've changed your health. So all these things were coming together. And then you took me, you gave me the burrito, gave me the ice cream, and we sat there, and I was thinking, that's so you. You've gone all in.
All in.
Yeah, because what I think maybe what people don't appreciate about that is the bravery that takes, but to be able to fail and go, you know what, I don't care if I fail, I'm going to enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm going to do it to my best. Now, you've made that a viable business, but you went all in, and you were like, people might go to him and go, what, Nick Rose doing like Meet This Mexican, like vegan food?
That's
ridiculous. I thought he was a tennis coach. Like, what's this?
Exactly.
And you must have had some people who were like a bit, maybe not, I don't know.
Not to my face, but 100% behind my back, of course. The same as with
Anything.
What, Nick doing TikTok? What, Nick doing a podcast?
Yeah.
But they're the same people that when things are a success come and ask you for the help.
Yeah.
I've had no end of people message me saying, Drake, you come and help me with my business TikTok. I will. It'll cost you.
Yeah.
Because you weren't there at the start.
Yeah.
You were the one taking the piss.
Yeah.
And snidey comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm all in. And I think going through this TikTok journey for me, you see a lot of things on there. I think I've got ADHD.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm undiagnosed ADHD. And I think that's what the depression was. Because it masks itself sometimes as that. And
well, you've always had a lot of energy.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of energy.
You would say that, but there are some times when I have none. And I can literally do nothing. I can procrastinate like the best in the world. Yeah. So when you were talking about being in your student accommodation and just sitting on that chair all day and being completely clocked out, I can relate to that.
But what I never understood, I was clocked out, living in a beautiful house with a beautiful girlfriend, with my degree in my hands right there just to finish. Didn't mean anything.
No.
It was heartbreaking. So what I wanted to say when I was coming here tonight was that I've got this sort of I've got lots of sayings. I've obviously listened to loads of podcasts and got inspiration from Safe Harbour and High Performance and loads of books. There's some amazing books out there, and some of the books you read, I have to share them with people, and you give them to people, they don't read them, and I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to force it on you, but Matthew McConaughey's book Green Lights, if you can't read that book and get some inspiration, there's something wrong. That guy has lived this crazy life, even before he became a Hollywood actor. Forget all that. Forget his good looking. Forget his, hunk and all that. His life was chaotic with his parents growing up. His dad was like the hardest guy in the world, just horrible to him, basically. But basically, the whole book is like find your green lights. Whatever your green lights are, he went through all the Hollywood stuff, and the green lights weren't green lights.
What does he mean by green lights?
Anything that lights up your soul. So he got to a place where he was typecast. He was in rom-coms. He hated them. He wanted to be a serious actor. People were paying him $20, $30 million a film to be another hunk in another rom-com. And he had to step away. He refused all these roles and stepped away until he started getting the serious roles he wanted. So he went and did some of the films that he's gone and done. But he tells a story about getting on the road, him, his dog, and his trailer. One of those, it's like Airstream, those beautiful
like
things.
The BBC thing,
unbelievable. So he goes on the road for like 6 months. This is before he got married, right? 6 months a year, he just goes. So he goes and lives in a trailer park in the middle of nowhere with trailer people. And he's like, they all know who he is. And after a day, they respect him and leave him alone, because that's what you do. But they're a community, so you fix each other's cars, and there's a bar on site, and it's a proper community. And he goes, I went there to find myself. He goes, I went with nothing apart from a dog, started writing this journal, and that's where the book came from. Is Finding Green Lights. So he goes, I'm happier here, living with genuine people, because in his professional life he was surrounded by people who weren't genuine. Women throwing themselves at him. I mean, if you're one of the most fancy men in the world, sounds amazing, doesn't it? But if you've got loads of fake people throwing themselves at you every time you go out, there's no fun in that, is there?
No fun. I mean, we were talking about something similar. I think it was on a podcast the other day. And have you ever been to Ibiza?
No, but I want to go. I want to go to the hidden side of Ibiza that everyone says is beautiful.
Yes.
We'll go.
Let's do it. But you go to Ibiza, and for the first 2 days, your head is on a swivel.
Yeah.
Because it is 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 everywhere.
Yeah.
The women are unbelievable. After about 4 days, you don't notice them anymore.
Yeah.
Because they're just commonplace.
It's not real.
It isn't real, and there's so many of them, and it just becomes background noise. Yeah. So I can imagine
social media, like Instagram photos or whatever.
Exactly that, and then all of a sudden it becomes, well, where's the real substance to this now? Where is it? And I think that's why people then gravitate towards the beautiful side of the island and things like that. So I can well imagine going into a bar for the first 2 years and every woman in there throwing themselves at you is quite a buzz.
Yeah.
but very quickly becomes, this is not real.
Yeah.
They're only doing it because I've been on the TV. If I'd not been on the TV, none of these would bat an eyelid at me.
Yeah. But in his book, so he does all these amazing things he wants to do. He's into surfing and stuff, and he's in a bar somewhere. I guess it was in Hollywood, and he's told himself he's going to meet the one. He's had all his relationships, A-listers and stuff. He's like, I'm going to meet the one. It's like, I'll find her. Someone had told him that, a bit like my situation, I suppose, that we go, she'll just find her. It'll just happen, right? So he sat in this bar, and he looks up, and he writes about it in his book. It's 2 or 3 pages. It's the most romantic thing I've ever read. So he goes, in she came, like in this silky dress, and he goes, she caught my attention. And he goes, he describes her. She describes her skin. He describes the intimate things about her, not what,
Not the superficial.
Yeah, not the superficial things. So he goes, wow, what a woman. He goes, I could tell by the way she's holding herself, this woman respects herself. She's respected, right? So he sees her sit down with her friends, and he's just transfixed by her. And he's like, right, don't mess this up. Don't be Matthew McConaughey. Don't go over and like do the whole Hollywood thing. So he's like, just ask her for a drink, and they get together, and he courts her properly, and he's like, and they've been together for like however long, and they've got, they're just so in love with the way he writes about it. But I think what I learned from that book was just the whole thing of green lights. Like, do what you value, right? Everyone values something, don't they? Everyone's got something that lights you up or gives you green lights. Everyone's different. Do what you value, and do it. Spend your life with the people that you value. Why would we choose to spend our lives with people that we don't value or they don't value us? So we've all been in relationships, haven't we, when you're not valued, or you put in more than the other person, or you've got a friend. Yeah. Yes, mate. or you've got a friend. Everyone's got a friend, or you try hard with a friend, and they don't reply to messages, and then they complain when they miss out on stuff, or you know what I mean? They're just not on it. Yeah. So if you have to do what you value. Find what you love and do it. It sounds simple, but in the modern world, lots of people can find distractions to not do what they love. We know what we love. Playing tennis, going out, experience. Life is about experiences. When you're on your deathbed, if you are lucky enough to have someone by you on your deathbed or near you, I watched my grand's final few hours, and we were all around her bedside, and she had dementia, she was going, and she just looked us in the eye, every single one of us, and she just kept saying, I love you, on repeat for 3 hours. And we're all there streaming. That's all she wanted to do. She was like, I love you so much. Do you know what I mean? That's the most beautiful, the most horrible, but at the same time, that's what life's about, isn't it? That you have experiences, right?
The Louis Vuitton handbags weren't anywhere to be seen.
No, they weren't.
And the flash cars.
Yeah, exactly. You can't take it with you.
Nope.
You can't take it with you, right? So all this superficial stuff, all this egotistical stuff, all this stuff we all get lost in. I'm as bad as anyone sometimes on my phone. But you have to do what you value. You do it with the people you value, and you make time for that. And life has to be about experiences. Now, there's another book I've read. How many weeks do you think we have on average as a human to be alive? How many weeks do you have to live on average as a human, man or woman?
52 times 70.
It's 4,000, so it's 80, right? The average age, give or take, is 80. Women tend to live slightly longer than men, right? So this guy wrote a book, his name escapes me at the moment, but 4,000 weeks it's called. We've only got 4,000 weeks to live, right? So you say that to someone and they go, that's not a lot. Right, okay. I'm 45, so I've got, 35 left to go, if I'm lucky. Now, bear in mind, 1 in 2 of us, 50% of us get cancer. So we can't run away from that. That's going to happen, right? So,
one of us two here.
Could be me, could be you, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm lucky, I'll get to 80. I've got 35 left to go. 35 Christmases, 35 more times to celebrate birthdays with my sons. And So you think to yourself, what am I doing in my life? What am I doing? Am I doing what I value? Am I enjoying myself? Now, I'm lucky at the moment where I can go to work every day and it doesn't feel like work. I genuinely enjoy teaching and supporting kids of age year 1 to year 13. Love it. I genuinely love going to the tennis club, filling in for some tennis coaching. I love obviously playing with my kids, doing sport with my kids, spending time with friends and family. Oh yeah, Oliver Burkeman, right? So if you think about that, maybe you change what you do. Do you decide what film you're going to watch on a Friday night in advance, save yourself the 30 minutes flicking through Netflix and just watch the film? Because if you do that every Friday, as an example, every Friday you're scrolling for 30 minutes, well, add up all those Fridays, it's a lot of time wasted, isn't it? So it's just brilliant. That's a brilliant book.
But equally, is not some of the fun and the pleasure in scrolling?
Yeah, but sometimes too much.
Yeah. But I get all of these things. And I think sometimes the beauty is in the detail of doing the things and not the outcome all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I can remember going to tennis matches and the journey there
Much
being
more fun.
that was it. That was the
Yeah.
essence of it. Yet we were driving there to play a tennis match when actually I didn't really enjoy the tennis match that much. I ended up losing or whatever it was. But the waking up at 5 a.m. and that, and I think sometimes we can cloud the enjoyment of being. I was listening to someone today or whoever it was, and they said you need to focus on where your feet are right now because that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Not what happened.
The power of now.
Correct. And I totally understand that. And 4,000 weeks doesn't sound like a lot. And then when you think about, you're probably asleep for half of that time.
I've only got about 1,800 weeks left, if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
That's scary,
You and
mate.
me.
Yeah.
You and me. And it seems as though you've got forever. But yeah, most people live lives on autopilot and enjoying very little.
Or in the past. I'm stuck between 94 and 96, mate. Well, I think we all are a little bit, aren't we?
You see, I was having a conversation with
everything was good in those years.
You're one of those people that can remember dates. I can't.
You're not?
Nope. I've got no idea. So when you say to me 94, 96, I would have to go back. I was born in 1978, so 88 makes me 10, 98 makes me 20, so that makes me about 16, 15.
Well, yeah, 15 going towards 80, those years.
But I can't just name a date when something came out. Like when did Oasis's first album come out?
I remember James Weston. Here we go. This is me with dates. James Weston being in his car in Hunstanton.
Yeah.
And I bought from the Left-Legged Pineapple, What a Shop. Records.
Amazing.
Second-hand. I used to go and spend all my tennis coaching money in there. So I bought Live Forever by Oasis on cassette single before the album had come out. Or maybe the album had come out. Anyway, had it on cassette single. Cassettes, people.
Unbelievable.
And put it in Weston's car. I think he'd borrowed his dad's Range Rover or something to go. So it's probably something like that. And we went down let's call it the Strip to make it sound better. Just the road into.
Have you been to Hunstanton?
Yeah, I've been recently as well, mate.
Have you?
The
Is
Strip.
it the same?
It's exactly the same, mate. Just a little bit more. It's posher in some areas and rougher in other areas.
Is there a little fair there?
Mate, it's all there. Exactly the same.
Wow.
Anyway, so I've taken the kids there and whatnot. But we went down the Strip, I'll call it, and we put Live Forever on. And I said, I really like this song by this band called Oasis. I put it on and went, this is pretty good, isn't it? But I remember all that, because obviously we grew up with house music, the best house music, like Alistair Whitehead, Jeremy Healy, The Emporium, proper club. Like Wobble in Birmingham, clubs, The Bomb, all that kind of stuff in Nottingham. Now, we had indie music, we came out of rave into indie, into
bit of drum and
house.
bass.
Drum and bass came out, LTJ Bookham.
Jungle it was called, wasn't it, at the time?
Yeah, Booyaka.
Yeah.
General Levy. Anyway, it was music was amazing. The culture was amazing. There was a cultural revolution. There was a political revolution. There was a football revolution. the Premier League had started. It was so I remember going to the Loughborough Leisure Centre to watch rugby league with my mate Joe and his dad, followed by, so the rugby league would be on first. They were Leeds fans, so watching Leeds play rugby, Leeds Wigan, massive game, followed by Friday night Sky Sports football. And I think the first televised game was Forest. One of the first ones was Forest United, one Friday. Forest Liverpool was the first televised Sky Sports game ever.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember.
What was the first Premier League televised?
Forest Liverpool. I think Teddy Sheringham scored a winner for Forest.
Wow.
But I remember going down the Leisure Centre to watch that. And you think, this is a new world. So suddenly you've got celebrity, you've got A-list models, bands. I mean, TFI Friday.
Oh, what
the
a
word.
Show. Yes.
Mate, don't
Danny
forget
Bear.
your toothbrush. Danny Bear.
Danny Bear. I wonder what she looks
look
like
at that.
now. Wow.
That's what I'm like with
but
dates.
You see, the thing,
Did
this
Teddy
is what I'm
Sheringham
saying
score?
To you. You're one of those people.
Did Teddy Sheringham score? I think Teddy Sheringham scored.
1-0 at the City Ground, August the 16th, 1992.
No, so that was 92. So this is 2 years before I got to my 94 kind of heyday.
Yeah.
But everything was great, mate. Loughborough, to go out as a place
was sensational.
Sometimes you wouldn't get in. If you were there too late, you couldn't get in the Griffin. It's too busy. I'll go the Black Lion. Can't get in. All right, I'll go the Zone. I'll go Busters. I'll go Pulse. I'll go Echoes. It was mad, wasn't it?
It was Teddy Sheringham.
There you go.
Tom. You absolute Scott Gemmell assist.
Oh,
but you see, this
Teddy,
is the thing,
Teddy.
I can't ever remember things like that. I can remember
it,
things like 1 year, Forest finished second in the Premier League. And we were the only team to beat Man United at Old Trafford, and Collymore scored. Left footer, top bins.
Blue kit.
Yeah,
remember that.
But I couldn't tell you when it was, the date and things like that.
No, I'm good with stuff like that.
Yeah, and I was talking to somebody just this morning, actually, a friend of mine. And we were, you know the friend. And we were saying that neither of us two are good at dates like that.
Well, mate, I've got always, I remember, so like being in Woodbrook today, like
you said
suddenly
to me,
it comes back.
You were like, walking down the corridor, I can't even remember any of my teachers' names.
I went and stood in my old form room.
Wow.
I stood there for 30 seconds. I was like, the fun we had in here, the lads, right? We had when like you're at school, I can't even remember what someone did. Oh no, all right, it was a lad, right? I can't name him because he's probably, yeah. Anyway, he used to go around and he used to just say, "Don't think so," like to all the teachers. It was like a catchphrase. So he was like a hard lad, right? You wouldn't mess with him. And if anyone said anything to him he didn't like, he could just, "Don't think so," right? So that he did it to teachers. So the teacher would be like, "You're late." And he'd go, don't think so. So like, we folded. We've got, when you've gone,
yeah.
And like, so the teacher can see you shaking. So that I'm there in my seat shaking like this, and the teacher's like, why are you laughing, like Tom? And I'm like, I'm not laughing. But then everyone else is shaking. And when you let it out and you fold, and your body goes down, and you've developed a six-pack because you're laughing so much.
Isn't that one of the
best things in life?
Feelings?
Oh, mate, amazing.
I mean, it's up there with an orgasm.
Yeah, I put it up there.
100%.
Mate, I've got an even better story. Not down that. But right, so we had two Bangladeshi kids who came into Woodbrook, right, called Nemo and Fazol, right, and they just came in. They just suddenly you got these two kids in your class, right?
Just one day, yeah.
It's like we were living in like the 90s. It wasn't really multicultural, Woodbrook Vale. Suddenly you got these lads here, right? They can't speak English. They've come from, I don't know what they come from, but they've come from probably a bad situation. They're now in our class, right? The two hardest lads. Mate, they used to kick the living daylights out of anything that moved, right?
Don't think so.
Yeah,
Was not the top
don't
man
think so. He wasn't, right? So Nemo, right, they developed this phrase. It's another catchphrase from school, right? So something had happened in the lesson. Oh, my God. And they go, this should have been in a film, right? They go, this is the catchphrase, big funny, innit? Right? So one of them would do something. So we've been in a science lesson, and remember those counting cubes?
Yes,
they're cubes
you
in
stick
science,
together.
Yeah? They just start chucking them at the back of people's heads in the lesson. Halfway through a normal science lesson, they've just stood at the back and gone like that. And so one of the brothers is chucking one at someone's head, like Ian Bushnell or something, getting back of the head. The other one's going, big funny, isn't it?
And then your other mate's going, don't think so.
Yeah. The teacher's gone like, Nemo, can you stop doing that? And he's like, not doing nothing. And he's doing it as he's saying it. And then she's like, what are you saying? He goes, big funny, innit? And we've all gone. These guys, one of them fly kicked the fish tank.
Fly kicks? I remember the Bengali boys kicking things.
Mate, fly kicked the fish tank, killed the fish. They just fly kicked the fish tank in the corner. And then we're going, big funny, innit? It's like, you've killed the fish. You've killed our class fish. Don't think so. Big funny, innit?
But it was just
all these memories came flooding back. I'd forgotten about Nemo and Fazzle.
Yes.
And I stood there and I was seeing him all gone, big funny, innit? And it was like, it wasn't that funny because they killed.
Yeah, but it was.
The things you grew up with.
Yeah.
They just used to take, if you've been in the playground and someone said something, just fly kick someone in the face.
But I can absolutely remember
fights at school and stuff.
Loughborough was all of my friends pretty much are Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, quite a few. But all the Bangladeshi boys, they ushered in swearing.
Yeah.
And they would F and blind. And to start with, it's kind of jarring, and you're like, but all of a sudden, everyone in the school's effing and blinding, and it was really bizarre because it was almost as though the kids that came over and they didn't speak any English, they knew every single swear word. That was it.
Yeah.
They just knew, fuck you, fucking, you want to fuck up. Do you know what I mean? It was just. But then that just became a thing.
But like, if you're teaching that situation,
what do you do?
You think of asking these kids to stop doing that. They're doing what I've asked them to stop doing it, but they're telling me they're not doing it. One of them just going big funny, innit? Everyone else is bound to laugh.
How do the teachers hold themselves together there?
Eventually, obviously, these guys had to leave the school.
Yes.
This is another thing. So someone said to me on Tuesday when I went in there, I said, I used to go here. They said, what do you think? What do you like it? I said, it was a fantastic place. It's an outstanding school. Really loved it. I said, but I did get shot in the head. So I got shot in the head.
With what?
A pellet gun. So
by Big Funny, innit?
No, not a Big Funny, innit? So me and my mate at the end of me and Sam, we went to the water fountain after school, which was in the toilet, right? In the toilets. And we walked in just to get a quick drink before you go home, right? And this guy from the Territorial Army, like cadet, called Malcolm, right? He walks in with a pellet gun and he goes, see if this hurts. And he shot me. Mate, he just shot me in the head. Right? It bounced off my temple.
Could have blinded you.
It bounced off my temple. So Sam stood there. Then he shoots himself in the stomach. Right? And he goes, it's not hurting me. And left. Right? He's just tried to shoot Sam and missed. And you're like, what's going on?
Not hurting me.
So we walk home, and me and Sam a bit stunned. Well, I've just been shot in the head. I'd had a little graze. I got home. Mum says, "How was school today?" I got shot in the head, Mum. So she's gone straight on the phone to the deputy head teacher. Obviously, the kid gets expelled. But just right, that's a really quite extreme story.
Yeah.
But it's so random. But things like that used to happen in Loughborough.
It's not hurting me.
Yeah. I remember walking around Loughborough with another mate of mine, and there's a lad across the road called David, who's a big, hard lad. Remember undercuts?
Yes.
Ponytails.
They're back in now, aren't they? Curtains, yes.
Mate, people go around wearing all our gear. Air Huaraches,
absolutely.
Air Max,
yes.
Champion hoodies.
Yep.
We were the fashionistas.
Trendsetters.
We were trendsetters.
Undercuts, curtains.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
This guy looks at my mate for no reason. We're just on near York Road, round there. Just mind their own business. And he looks at my mate and goes, "You've just looked at me." And we're like, "No, we haven't." And we're only like 14, 15. He walks across the road, pins my mate over a wall, takes his fist back, and he's like, he's going to knock. I can't do anything. This guy's like massive, tough. He must have been 19. And he's going to go, he's going to smack my mate's head off. And then he goes, "I'm only joking, mate," and just walks off. Like, random stuff like that. You remember, we didn't even do anything.
Loughborough used to be a very violent town.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
A very, very violent
town.
town.
That's why I'm lucky. I grew up with a big group of mates.
Yeah.
And I had one mate in particular who was the toughest, and he would never look for trouble, but you knew he had your back.
Himself, yeah.
But I remember you had to be in a big group.
Yes.
Because if you spoke to the wrong girl accidentally,
Yep.
then someone
Looked
would just
at
come and
the
knock
wrong
you
lad.
out. Yeah. Yeah.
It was a very, very, in those 90s, those mid-90s, it was extremely
Not at the
violent.
tennis club, we should say.
Not
Tennis
at the
club
tennis
was...
club, no.
No. Apart from you and...
I've offered a couple of people out on the tennis
I was
club
gonna say.
before.
Yeah, you have, yeah.
Can you remember James Middleton that I used to play with?
James Middleton.
From Nottingham.
He rings a bell.
So an absolute head case, and got on really well with him. So when I was playing at Nottingham, I was friends with him, and we used to play doubles together. And there was quite a few occasions when he would disagree with a line call that they've made.
Yeah.
He'd walk around to the side of the court and he'd say, "Look, give me one more bad line call, I'm going to fill you in."
Yeah.
And that was just a regular thing. But I remember I was playing him. Did you ever remember playing in Nottingham at the Parks courts?
Yeah,
Can you remember those?
yeah.
Which was kind of set down, you got all the houses around. So I'm in the final, I'm playing against James, my doubles partner. We were decent at the time. We were probably 16, 17, definitely 16.
Mate, this is prime Rose.
This is prime Rose, yeah.
is prime.
Serve, volleying, head prestige tours. Anyway.
Oh, this is after the profile hammers.
This is after
you
the
graduated
profile.
to the
I
tour
went to
racket.
the tour racket.
Yeah.
Tour level.
I remember them rackets, mate.
And,
No, have you still got them?
No.
Mate, you know they're worth a few bob.
Smashed them to pieces.
You've not got one in the
Not
loft?
one, no. Oh, God.
Mate, I've got 2 Pro Staff Classics
I
knocking
see
them
you
out.
trying to flog them on Facebook.
No
every
one
now
wants
and
them.
then.
No one wants them. Mate, they're worth loads. No one wants
They
them.
were 500 quid a month ago. He's offering
Yeah,
100
yeah,
quid.
it's because they're mine. I've touched them.
They've gone, look, they don't work.
Captain Caveman's touched them.
Captain Caveman.
Remember that
no,
second
I
serve,
can't
mate.
remember that. Anyway,
Anyway.
so I'm playing James Middleton in the final.
Yeah.
And it was of the Open, so it was of like the men's thing, but we'd obviously got there. And I've won the first set, he's won the second set, and I'm 5-3 up in the third set.
Yeah.
He's serving.
Thought you had a bad memory, mate.
And I snapped my string.
Ooh.
I haven't got another racket.
Yeah.
They're all gone. That's it. It's my last one. He's my doubles partner.
Yeah.
So when I'm saying we're as friendly as you and I are, we've gone transcending together.
Yeah.
We're like brothers on the tour.
You think he's going to lend you a racket,
So
right?
I say to him, "Can I borrow your racket to finish the match off, James?" He goes, "No."
You're joking.
I went, "Are you serious?"
Yeah.
He's like, "No, I don't have to." And I'm like, shit. Now, these are the days when we used to play with synthetic gut. Remember? Prince synthetic gut.
Pro blend.
Pro blend and, that kind of
Ashaway
stuff.
Crossfire.
Yeah. And they'd move all over the place, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
You'd
they
be
would,
constantly. Now, the strings that we use now, these monofilaments,
Yeah.
they don't move. So I've looked at my racket and I've thought, right, because I had a fairly decent serve then.
Mate, you had a big serve, mate.
Yeah, I had a
mate,
big
he had,
serve.
he had a big serve.
Cannon. So I thought to
You
myself...
had one of the biggest serves.
Yeah. It was
Who had a bigger serve than you? Come on.
Ivan Isavic.
No. In Leicestershire.
I don't
No,
think
that
anyone
age
at my
group.
age. No, I don't think anyone.
So you had the biggest serve.
Biggest serve, yeah.
I bigged you up there, mate.
Big me
See what I did.
So I thought, I've got 4 hits with this racket left before the strings are completely gone.
Yeah,
and they're just done in those
And
days.
you're 5-3 up.
5-3 up. He's serving. So I thought, right. So I goes, okay, we've gone back. It might be like 15 love or something. So he served. I've just let the ball go straight past me.
Yeah.
He served again. He's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We've changed ends 5-4. So I thought, right, I've got to make every first serve here. I'm going to serve and volley. And I've got no more than 8 shots in me. So anyway, I served this game out, win the match.
Nice.
And he goes absolutely ballistic.
Yeah.
This little old lady comes out of one of the houses, which is surrounding the courts, which are up higher.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Can you keep the noise down?" And he's turned around and he's hurled abuse at her. He's fired a ball at her house, hit the window.
Right.
He's had to be dragged off the court by Richard Joyner,
Right.
the tournament official. He's going ballistic.
Yeah.
The guy's banned from tennis for like a year.
Yeah.
Had to write reports to the LTA, this, that, and the other. That was just like an everyday common occurrence on the tennis courts.
But so, if you think about this, I've played with people who were on the edge.
On the edge.
Well, I mean, we played with some people who were on the edge, didn't we? There's some character.
Guilty.
Yeah. I mean, Rollo. Right. People who are on the edge, right? So, looking back, going back to what we've been talking, how we got together, how we reconnected about mental health and, what we're doing and what we're interested in. We wouldn't have realised it when we were 16, 17, 18, 19 because we were caught up in performing, training, going out, going to tournaments. You're on a bit of a rotor, aren't you?
Sure.
You know where you're going to be second week in the summer. You're at Carisbrooke.
Yes.
Everyone's there. Then it's Leicestershire, whatever.
Yep.
So the point I'm making is when we played with older people, they were going through the things that we were going to start going through and experiencing. But when you're playing with an adult who's going through a divorce or has got issues or whatever, they're probably masking it in letting off steam on the tennis court. It's not about the tennis, is it?
No.
I mean, let's be honest. We're playing league tennis in Leicestershire, in like the Premier League or Division 1 or wherever, right? So obviously we wanted to win. Obviously it's competitive. You know, everyone who plays still plays, don't they? Which is incredible.
Pretty much.
There's hardly anyone you can name who stopped playing.
Yeah.
But I can now think back to when I played with my doubles partner at Loughborough, thinking he was not in a good place. And at the time, I just thought it was normal to like smash a racket.
Yeah.
I remember we played away at LFE. We went for a whole season unbeaten. Whole season unbeaten. We got promoted from Division either 2 to 1 or whatever it was. We got up, and when we suddenly realised we might be unbeaten, the last couple of matches became
a bit edgy.
Yeah. We had this massive. We had a service game at LFE, and it went on for like 20 minutes. He's break point down. I've fluffed a volley into the bottom of the net, and he's doing everything to hold into serve. I've done us there. It's the first game of a 3-rubber evening of matches. He's launched his racket from the baseline to the other end into the fence, right? He's got his spare racket out already. So as we changed then, he's booted that down to the end. So there's 2 rackets down at the end. The opponents are looking at me. I'm 17 or whatever at this time, and I'm like, sorry. And they're like looking at me. He's down the other end looking like he's about to strangle someone. But at times this was normal. And you look back and go, I mean, some of the things people did, people would like, you know, people after nights out would end up in a ditch, like drunk, or wake up in the tennis club, or, you know, the stories, right? But what I'm saying is, there's probably a reason behind that we couldn't see at the time, and we were massively influenced by those people, rightly or wrongly. But it's interesting. I remember having to apologise to these guys, because they were looking at me going, we've only played one game. What's this guy going to do if we win another game? Yeah. And it was like, we went, and then we went on and won easily. But they were so intimidated and it was like, it's just funny.
There was obviously something going on that you didn't see. I remember playing a match.
No one had talked about it. This is this point.
Yes.
No one in those days would have talked about it. Everyone just carried on.
Do they now though?
Mate, yeah, definitely. Well, things have changed.
When people are chucking their rackets around and whatnot.
Yeah, massive. You know, I think it'd be quite rare to see someone lose it like we saw people lose it, I think.
Yeah. I remember playing a match once, and I'm definitely not naming who it is.
I'll be able to work this out quite quickly.
You'll be able to 100% work this out. So we're playing on the court next to the fans, where the dome is. Yeah. Whatever number court that is. So 1, 2,
6.
3, 4,
in
5,
Loughborough.
6. Yeah.
Court 6, yeah.
Court 6. Summer league match. Decent division.
And so this would have been top division, wouldn't it?
Must have been, yeah, because I would have been 17 probably at the time, 16, 17.
And we had 2 amazing teams then.
Yeah.
Both teams.
And I was playing with said person.
Yeah.
And I'm losing it a little bit.
Yeah.
So at the change of ends, my doubles partner said, come here, lad, come and have a look at this. This will calm you down. He's opened his tennis bag.
Right, I know this said person, let's just say, was probably around 30 at the time.
He's opened his bag up.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going.
He's got a load of porno mags. So we're playing the middle of a tennis match, summer league.
I know who this is.
And he's got a load of porno mags.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, it completely knocked me out of it. And we've gone back on, and it was like, boom.
Yeah.
You can't do stuff like that now.
Well, no, of course you can't.
You can't do stuff like that now.
But I think
it was the right thing at the right time.
This same person you're talking about is recently connected with me on LinkedIn, funnily enough, in the last 3 weeks. I kid you not. Wow. Seriously. And not only that, this same person, when we went to Hunstanton, when I was 15, 16, glory days, we drove down the strip. We'll call it the strip again. The bright lights of Sunny Honey. First of all, we went to the ground on the We must have arrived on
We have to go.
We'll go and do
next
it. Mate, let's go and play it.
We have to
Me
do
and
it.
you, let's go and play it.
We have to do it. We have got to do
Kev
that.
Rudd plays it. My
We'll do
university
it. We'll
captain
take
plays
these
it.
young lads. We'll take all the Bozzy lads, Aaron
Mate.
Dinks, and all of the proper guys.
Yeah,
you know what I
we'll
mean?
do it.
And we'll let them watch us play the old man's handicap.
Yeah.
We'll definitely doing that.
Mate, we could take the Waffle
Mate,
on tour.
Waffle on tour.
Waffle on tour.
We'll definitely do.
Sunny Honey edition.
It's done. It's done.
Chroma. Should we do Chroma as well?
We'll do it. But Hunstanton was the one. Anyway, sorry.
No. So we went in his Escort at the time to the ground. He did some handbrake turns on the cricket court, right? Because it was wet. It was raining.
On the grass.
So he let another one of our teammates, who let's just say had a big forehand. You know what I'm talking about.
I know
now.
exactly who you're talking about.
He's done some handbrake turns in his car.
Wasn't even old enough to drive.
No.
No.
So then we've driven down into the town. The guy with the big forehand's brother is ahead of us. He's got his tunes on. Everyone's got super soakers. So they've bought super soakers. They're all loaded up. So we're driving around in Stanton just squirting random people. Literally, imagine like on a Saturday afternoon, is a guy on his bike cycling into Stanton, minding his business, and this guy just turns up. But it's so immature.
One of the best men I have ever met is the person we're thinking about.
Yeah, he taught me a lot.
One of
He's
the
got
greatest men
yeah.
who had time for...
You need to get him on.
Without a doubt.
You need to get him on.
Without a doubt. One of the greatest men. He was like a brother.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
Amazing. He took me... This is another... See, these tennis stories start coming out now,
It's
right?
So
I'm at Burley, and it's County Week tennis coming up. Me and the guy with the big forehand's brother weren't picked for quite obvious reasons, because we'd maybe let the social side of our lives take over. Let's put it mildly. Yeah. Right. So we get picked up. I get picked up from Burley by Greg. Remember Greg?
Big tall Greg.
Yeah, Greg.
Yes.
He picks me up in his Astra because he used to go to Burley.
I saw him not long ago.
Really? I think he's still... Anyway, so we've gone down to Eastbourne with this guy and John and Andy, Martin and everyone. We've gone to Eastbourne and we've watched Andy play in the... You might have been in the team. No, you were too young. So this is under 18 County Week in Eastbourne. We've gone down.
I played under 18 County Week in
We've gone
Eastbourne.
down.
I was there.
You must have been there.
I played Stuart Carr.
Yeah. So right.
Stuart Carr was
I've got
at
a funny
one.
story about him in a minute.
I've
right.
got plenty.
Yeah, right. So anyway, we've gone down, and me and everyone else are just there to hit a few balls and have a few drinks. So we roomed. So we're in the same hotel. The four of us, the guy you're speaking about, John, Martin, and me, and we went out for 2 nights in Eastbourne. And, it was just what an education. What an education. And so John and I played tennis on the Saturday. In fact, his parents came down. Bob came down. And I can't remember what his mum's called. Anyway, so they're all down there. But we just went out and had a laugh. And the godfather, should we call him?
The godfather.
Of social... He's now a golf captain of his golf club.
Heavily into table tennis and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Snooker,
Had a heart
darts. Yeah, he did, yeah. So... He's beaten Phil Taylor at a leg of darts.
Has he?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway,
his missus was hot, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Can you remember back in the day, being a youngster, and you're like, this guy's got it all.
Yeah.
He's got banter, he's witty, he's funny, he's good at tennis, his missus is hot. He's the man.
Yeah, he's so talented.
Yeah.
But his heart of gold. He's got heart of gold.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so this guy, I cleared. So I cleared out a mum's loft recently. And I'm going through all these boxes of like girlfriends' photos and letters, and I had a box full of mixed photos just chucked in a box, all these photos of my life, and one of them had him in it in the hotel room, sat on the toilet
in Eastbourne,
smiling. And it's like, just think, I was 17 at the time. They probably paid for everything pretty much. We didn't really put our hands in our pockets.
No.
They just took us out.
Yes.
You go, what? It was great. You're playing tennis at a high standard. Having a great social life.
Yeah.
You every Fridays and Saturdays in Loughborough, you didn't even need to organise anything.
No, you just go out. I used to go out.
Jimmy Dean's. Remember Jimmy Dean's, mate?
Mate, I've got some stories about that. But we really, a couple of things. There's a book, and I've got it, Tom, and it's called Wimbledon by the Sea.
Yeah.
And it's about Hunstanton. and this bloke's written it, and it's got through the eras all the people that have won it and stuff like that. It's amazing.
Is there not a chapter about me?
I'm not.
Not a chapter about me winning the doubles under 16s.
I didn't.
Is that not in there?
I didn't read that.
Mate, they've missed that out.
They've missed it out.
John Coates, Tom Bourne team.
Amazing.
You must have won it, right?
Yeah, I won it. So
did you win the singles?
Yeah.
What year? Come on, mate.
So this is the only time I've ever felt like a celebrity or a superstar. The first time was in Hunstanton. So I think I was 17. I was number 1 seed.
Yeah.
So I seeded 1, and I beat.
Not in the courier kit. This is the days after the courier kit, isn't it? Remember we had that Nike kit from the.
Might have been.
No,
round
it
about
must
then.
have been after that, mate.
Must have been.
Yeah.
But I was number 1 seed anyway. I was playing a lot of tennis, and I was decent. And
Mate, you're more than decent.
I beat James Middleton, my doubles partner, with a broken string in the semis, and then I beat a guy from Lincoln,
Fincham.
Peter Fincham.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beat him. He died in a car crash.
Did he?
Yeah. So I played with his brother at Kibworth, Martin Fincham. Played at Kibworth, unbelievable player. Because me and Andy Coates lost to Peter Fincham in the under-18 doubles final. So in the same year, I won the under-16s with John and lost in the under-18s final with Coatsy against Peter Fincham and a guy who I can't remember his name, but I ended up playing against when I was at uni.
Wow. How long ago did he pass away?
I don't know. I think it was a few years after that.
Wow.
Because my director of sport, she played at Hunstanton, so she knew him. Or, you know, how everyone knows each other in tennis. But he was a small lad, wasn't he? But a hell of a player.
Decent player, yeah. So anyway, beating him in the final. But my mum and dad at this time had bought a caravan. Yeah. And we used to do various tournaments during the summer. So we do Hunstanton and Ilkley and all of these different ones. So we'd gone with my doubles partner. Yeah. I think we either won or we lost in the final of the doubles. And I beat him in the semis, and then I went on to win it. But you always get there like the day before, wouldn't you? And you'd like do a bit of a practice day and whatnot. So we got there the day before. Yeah, we were serious tennis players.
Right. You're not doing super soakers down the
No. We were practicing.
Okay.
So me, can you remember my nephew Matt?
Yeah, Matty, yeah.
So me and James and Matty had gone down the day before, and we'd gone into Hunstanton down into the arcades.
Living the dream.
And there was this group of girls.
Yeah.
You know, similar sort of age, maybe slightly younger, and they're just kind of following you around the arcade machines. And then one of them's finally plucked up the courage, and they've walked up and they've come up to us and they said, "Excuse me, is your name Nick?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You're the number 1 seed, aren't you, in the 18s singles?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And then, you know what I mean? You had a chat with him and this, that and the other and whatnot. But that's the first time I'm like, fuck, I feel like a fucking bit of a celebrity here sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? This is weird.
But to put that in context from where we grew up, it's properly weird.
Weird.
It is, isn't it?
But the thing is as well, Tom, what people don't realise is, and it comes back to me going all in with things. Yeah. I didn't start playing tennis until I was a month off of 13.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Okay. So I was a month from 13 and I had my first tennis session in Devon. Yeah. And I was a little chubby lad that had no sporting background. Now, by the time I was 17, I was the number 1 seed under 18s at Leicestershire.
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I was number 1 seed. I lost to Stuart Montgomery in the semi-finals, who then went on to lose to Ben Cramp in the final. Yeah, so that was the year I should have won it. I was number 1 seed. Yeah. I was number 1 seed.
I don't remember Stuart Montgomery.
Stuart Montgomery plays at Oadby now, left-hander. Funny, one of them left-handers.
I think, yeah. I don't remember him.
I played
Stuart.
recently now, but he's a decent player. And I remember losing to him on court 1. He just played a blinder, do you know what I mean? So in 4 years,
that's amazing.
I'd gone from a complete beginner, never playing tennis before, but that was literally because I threw myself 100% into tennis. I didn't give a damn about anything else. I was just fixated on becoming a tennis player, and that was it. Then I played full time. But we used to go to this. You never played Ilkley. Ilkley was another level. Yeah. The level was unbelievable.
Is that Yorkshire?
Yes. Yeah. They had so you'd go with the caravan. It was grass. Yeah. But they had what used to be then called a satellite event, which I guess now is like a challenger or something.
Yeah. So or a 250.
Yeah. You had that going on at the exact same time as this, and. I can remember one day Luke Milligan was in the doubles final.
I've played against him.
And he came to me and said, "Will you come and warm me up before my final?" I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, so we've gone on and we've warmed up, done some cross courts and stuff like that. But that was going on at the same time. But you'd get quite a lot of foreigners come to play.
Yeah.
So there was a big Dutch contingency and this, that and the other. And look, I was 17, I was decent, I was fairly good looking, and you'd have this harem of girls again, all around. Anyway, my mum and dad have got this caravan, and next to the caravan's the awning, which is like the tent connected. I remember I pulled this Dutch bird called Kirsten from Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Hairy armpits. Anyway, we've gone back to her tent one night and we're having a bit of a, this, that and the other. And then the next day, I'd left my key there. So she's then come back the next day to my mum and dad's caravan and handed the key in. And my dad was like, oh, who's this girl that's come and handed the key in? I said, oh, whatever. And the next night, she's like, right, we're doing it. So I'm like, okay, let's find a condom.
Yeah.
So I've had to, because I'm playing a match the next morning, you can't stay out too late. Now there's a bar on site and a disco and everyone's getting loose. So you've gone out for a bit, your mum and dad are like, you've got to come back early, because you've got a match tomorrow. So I've come back, opened the door. Hiya, mum, dad, I'm in. She's in the awning waiting. Right. So I've shut the door, laid down on this little bed in the back, and you're just waiting for 10, 12 minutes until you think your mum and dad are asleep. And
romantic.
Sneak out, open the door in the awning, literally the caravan window's there. Yeah. And I'm on the awning doing your thing. Yeah. And you're thinking, at any moment, my dad could just look out. And it was just...
Yeah, but it's experience, isn't it?
It was... Honestly, unbelievable. Some of the stuff that used to...
No, but
consequently, I didn't win the tournament.
Yeah. This is where your tennis career...
This is where the tennis career started.
You need to get her on, because she changed your tennis career for the work. So this is one of my sort of philosophies of parenting, right? Is, I've not got a great relationship with my dad. It's just not been there for me. Got a fantastic relationship with my mum. But like, if you think about what we've experienced, just me and you, and what all our friends have experienced, it's kind of like everything you can experience in life.
Yes.
Because that's life, right?
Yes.
So my boys are 10 and 13. There's no point or value in me pretending that I haven't done things, right?
No.
So I have to be perfectly honest with them and be upfront with them and open. Like, our parents didn't talk about sex or like what to do or relationships or anything like that, or drinking. You just learnt by doing.
By your mates.
Yeah. By your mate or your mate's stories or whatever. The point I'm making is that someone told me a while ago, they said, think about everything you've done. Think about everything your friends have done, everything you can think of, every single story. Because your kids will do that. You might as well support them doing it, as opposed to pretend they're not doing it. Because if you push on them and you say, I don't want you going to a rave, I don't want you to drink, I don't want you to get into that music, or whatever it is, right? They're going to do it. So you've got to do is you've got to support them.
Yes.
And you've got to be there to pick up the pieces. You've got to be there to educate them and be open. Because if someone had told me about the things I've experienced and all my friends, how much easier would it have been to be in the situation you've just spoken about? Right? You probably would have gone, you know what? Let's go somewhere else. Yeah. Let's do this properly.
Yeah.
As opposed, you know what I mean? Like, but you shouldn't, in the modern world, you shouldn't need to learn by experimentation and fumbling around. Like,
that's all the fun.
Everything. Yeah, but
I couldn't have a podcast telling you about it then, Tom, could I?
No, but what I mean is, like, isn't it funny how, like, we're having honest conversations now, and putting it out there, whereas we grew up in a very conservative, very I remember, and I've sort of apologised to my mum before I tell this story, but I'm going to tell it. I remember Anne Woods, who took us to understand, so Ruth and Kate, right?
Yes.
Yeah? I remember Anne Woods, Ginny, and my mum, because we all rented out this house in Hunstanton. And we were all in there, me, the Woods, the Coates, and the adult. The adults got really drunk one night, and they were trying to stuff peanuts in Martin's trousers, right? So you imagine, like, you come into the lounge, we'd been down into town or whatever. We come back, they were drinking and they're just being silly. It wasn't anything, you know. And we walked in, I'm like, here's my mum trying to stuff peanuts in my tennis coaches, just as a laugh, right? Be like,
weighties.
Yeah. Be like, you're like, what is going on? And like, you know, so you saw a different side of
your parents
and their friends.
Yes.
Because they're like, they're having a laugh. They're drunk.
Yes.
They're playing stupid party games, right? And I think what I'm trying to say is when we grew up, parents used to pretend they didn't do that.
Yes.
They're very conservative.
Yes.
You go to bed, we'll be downstairs watching TV.
Yeah.
Like, and so there was that thing about, you know, obviously your parents are doing everything that we would, you know, and it's like, you just got to be honest and open about it, because then it helps kids. There's no point in like, you know, saying this is taboo or judging someone for a mistake they make. Like, people make mistakes, but so forget judgment, just educate people and support them. And that's what I do with my boys.
Yeah.
You know, when they do stuff, I'm not going to shout at them and have a go. I'll just say, look, you know, how does that feel? Is that a good choice? You know, is that what you're interested in? Whatever it may be. You can't be like, I remember my granddad hearing me listening to Nirvana, and my granddad was like, what's that? And I said, oh, it's this band Nirvana. And he's like, sounds like, and I was like, he probably was spot on, to be honest. I said, this is grunge music, Granddad. And he was like, what is that rubbish? And like, you know what I mean? Like, because you listen to, you're influenced, aren't you, by your parents, your granddad, and whatnot.
Massively.
So it made me think, well, maybe it's not very good. Or, you know what I mean? But like, using music as an example, if someone's into something, just let them be into it.
Let them be into it.
Enjoy it.
Yes.
And if you don't like it, tough. That's what they're into.
Absolutely right. I've always said to my girls, I've tried to instill it in 2 girls. And because I grew up and I was scared to tell my dad if something had gone wrong somewhere. So I remember being 17.
We all grew up like that, didn't we? Like, failure is...
I had this, I don't know if you can remember, but my first car was a white Vauxhall Astra.
Yeah.
It was a nice little car, 750 quid it cost. And
what would that be now?
It was like...
What would 750 be?
3-door... Yeah, it would have been...
What, we're talking like 5... that'd be a 4 or 5 grand now, wouldn't it?
Car, definitely. It was a nice little car. But I remember being out one night with my mates and the exhaust fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it snapped at the manifold. And I was so scared to go back and tell my dad or whatever that one of the lads that we were with phoned one of his mates whose dad owned a garage up near Southfields Park. Yeah. And we've gone round there in the middle of the night and he's welded it back on.
That's class.
Because we were so scared. I was so scared to tell my dad. Now,
yeah, you would be, yeah.
I've always said to my girls, no matter what happens, girls, me and you are on the same team.
Yeah, of course.
So we will solve the problem that's ahead of us, and then we deal with what's happened secondary. So never be scared to do it. And I was really proud one day because it was a few summers ago. My eldest used to go down to the school fields in the summer in Shepshed. Now it's almost backs onto the M1. Yeah. So she's doing whatever they do with a load of kids. And I get a phone call from Megan, and she's like, "Hi, Dad. I've got the police here with me. Yeah. And they want to have a word with you." I was like, okay. I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yep." So I spoke to the police and they said, we've had reports of people running across the M1. Yeah. Kids. Wow. So I'm like, geez. Now I'm thinking, I know that my eldest hasn't done this. So Megan's come back on the phone. She says, "What do I do, Dad?" I said, "Tell me the truth right now. Was it you?" She said, "No, I promise it wasn't me." Yeah. I said, "So you tell them police officers, if they want to speak to anybody about this, now you've told them it's not, they come and speak to me." Yeah. I says, "I'm 100% on your team. Don't say anything else to them. You are 15 years old or whatever it is. I will drive down there straight away and we will deal with this together. Yeah. And then we talk about what happened afterwards. But if you're telling me the truth right now, there is nothing that we need to do." And I just wish that my dad would have said things like that to me. I know he would have thought that, but I can remember...
It wasn't in their DNA.
It wasn't in the DNA. I can remember coming home from being on a night out and you're pissed up, you get back, it's 2-3 in the morning.
If you're lucky.
You've maybe had a scrap. Yeah. You've maybe got a love bite on your neck. Do you know what I mean?
Love bites. When they're coming back in, are they coming back in? I don't think they're coming back in. They're horrible, mate.
They're in. They're just hidden. Yeah, hidden well with makeup, I think.
They're horrible, mate.
Oh, I like them.
Horrible.
Leave your mark. But horrible. I can remember coming home.
Mark your territory.
And I don't know if you can remember my house, Tom, but
Yeah, Limehurst Avenue.
Yeah. You used to walk down the side.
Mate, I can remember your bedroom now.
With the
Commodore 64.
The grey and the red stripes around. Yeah.
Sega.
Amiga.
Sonic.
Yes.
Was it me?
I had Amiga.
You
had
have
everything.
you have a Commodore 64? Have I made that up?
I would have had that, but not when I
I remember playing Sonic.
Amiga and the Sega Mega Drive, all of them things. Yeah.
The Master System.
I can remember one night you having a sleepover at my house, and I'm asleep, and I wake up in the middle of the night, and you're just there playing on one of these games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had a black and white TV in my rooms.
Yeah.
You had a colour one. I was like, this is
Colour
amazing.
TV on a
Sonic's
stand
in colour.
It was hanging on the wall. Yeah, it was amazing.
You had an amazing bedroom.
Yeah. But I remember coming home after a night out, and my dad's sitting at the kitchen table as you walk in. What time do you call this?
3 in the morning?
3 in the morning. What time do you call this?
In his dressing gown? Or?
In his dressing gown. He'd been to bed. He's come
Amazing.
Back. What are you doing? How long? What time do you call this? Who you been? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Spanish Inquisition as you walked in, and
Yeah.
you're thinking, I don't really want... You saw the Spanish Inquisition, didn't you, the other day when he was here? I'm just thinking, I'm not that person.
Yeah.
I am absolutely not that person. My kids can come to me straight away with any issue and we deal with it. It's me and them against the problem.
Yeah.
Even if they've been in the wrong.
Yeah, of course.
And then we deal with the problem afterwards. And
Well,
we
that's
talk about
empowering them, isn't it?
it is. And it's understanding that they are going to make mistakes.
Well, you learn from your mistakes.
Of course you do. My best thing at the minute is fail fast, fail often.
Yeah.
As long as you've not done anything that's totally detrimental to, you've got a criminal record now, or you've injured somebody or hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you look like a bit of a dickhead because you've made some TikTok videos or you've posted something on Facebook.
Yeah, but this goes back to you going all in. It's just reminded me of reading that Matthew McConaughey book. So he moved to this suburb in Texas because he's a Texan. So Texas is in his blood, right? He's developed this bourbon whiskey that's everything he does is about Texas. Like he's a Longhorn, they call it. He's a Longhorn. He's like, it's like it's your
proud
identity.
of it.
So he moved back into this suburban neighborhood to try and be like anonymous, and he came home, and he was stoned, and he was like, I just need to play my bongos. He got into bongos, right? So he's naked, right? He's Hollywood A-lister, naked playing the bongos. High, playing the bongos, naked as you do, by himself in the zone. He's having the best time, right? Someone rings that someone's found out about it or they hear the noise. He's got music on with the bongos or whatever. So he gets arrested. So the police raid into his home, drag him outside naked. He's still hanging on to his bongos, trying to resist arrest. You think, obviously that's a fail. That's a big fail, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is in that moment, despite who he was and what he just did what he wanted to do. And I'm not saying we're all going to go and play naked bongos,
No.
but the point you are. But the point is that if you get lost in what you do and you value, he loves music, whatever. But trying to play an instrument or whatever it may be, but you just go for it. And this goes back to you being all in. Like when you told me, when I found out about this, you told me about it. It goes back to Meet This Mexican, or it goes back to your tennis. It even goes back to probably being in your bedroom and you got into you're into computer games. And you got all in at computer games and you were good.
Yeah.
Right. So you could beat most people on computer games, right? Because you went all in. Your artwork, mate.
All in.
Phenomenal artwork. I did A-level art. I got a C. Right?
I did A-level art. I got a C.
No, you didn't. You didn't, mate.
I did GCSE
You didn't do A-level art?
I got GCSE art.
What, did you not do A-level art?
No.
Why not, mate? You'd have got an A, right?
No.
No?
I was rubbish.
Mate,
I was only good when I dedicated 2 years of my life, 10 hours a day to drawing.
Mate, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. But but I think a message to get out to people...
Go all in.
I know in my tennis, I went all in for a bit and then I went half in.
Half in.
And now I regret some of that.
Yep.
When I moved to London, and I found so the club I played for in London, Coolhurst, was like Leicestershire, but like on steroids. It was unbelievable. 3 grass courts. We had Luke Milligan's coach. Luke Milligan's coach was my doubles partner. The guy got to junior Wimbledon back in the day. So I was playing doubles with, right? We won the Middlesex Cup. We were in like Premier League in Middlesex, playing against some phenomenal players. Played against Luke Milligan. He was playing with some guy who was just a club standard player. We get to 4-all, and he just starts serving second serve aces. You know where he's going to kick the ball to. out to my backhand. He's kicked it into the fence. I can't even get the ball. I know he's going there. Phenomenal to play against someone like that, right? But the point I'm making is that at that stage, because that structure fitted my life. So it was like you train on a Monday night and you train at the weekend. If you don't train well, you don't get picked. There's 2 teams to get picked in, right? And it's like I'm hanging on to my first team place as everybody wants my place and another guy's place. So you train harder, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm keeping my place. We're playing NCL. We're playing like regional NCL around London. We're traveling all around the place at the weekends. And that's what happens when you go all in. You know, I ended up winning the Middlesex Cup. We had a guy in our team who'd played NCAA Division 1 for UCLA. Talented guy. One of those guys who turns up all casual. He looked like the guy from My Name Is Earl. I kid you not. That actor, you know the actor?
Yeah.
Looked exactly like him. Turned up in like a baggy UCLA t-shirt and some basketball shorts with like one pocket. We're all grinding away, practicing. He turns up just softest hands, amazing. Always wins. Always makes everything look easy and just not a drop of sweat on him. But that's what happens. You meet these people. You have a team, you go all in, you train, you're like brothers, aren't you? And so I think one of the messages I'd give out with this big waffle is that do what you value, do it with who you value, and go all in. Now, the message from the Green Lights book, McConaughey's dad said to him, his dad was a hard bastard, right? His dad would beat him up, beat his mum up, fight, do dodgy deals in Texas, all this thing. This is what he grew up with, right? He grew up in a tough environment. His dad said, the saying is, don't half-arse it. That's what his dad said. He goes, whatever you do, he goes, I don't care what you do, but do not half-arse it. Now, we can all look back and go, you know what, I half-arsed quite a lot of things. Like, when you're sort of doing something, but you're just doing it.
Yeah.
You're not in it. Yeah. Might be a relationship, might be a course, might be, I did GCSE German. Why?
Why?
No wonder. I've been to Germany twice. I asked a woman on a German market on a stag do. It came back to me in my German.
Where's the post office?
Close. Even better, mate. I asked her on a German market on a Saturday, slightly hungover. German came back to me. I said, hello, my name is Tom. Do you have a... This woman's like 67 or something. Hi, my name is Tom. Do you have a sister? And she's like 9, right? So the next question comes up. And I remember we looked up different animals. So have you, hast du ein Klassenschlange? Or something like that. It means rattlesnake. I asked her 2 questions. Have you got a sister? Have you got a rattlesnake? That was the extent of my GCSE German in action. What a waste of time.
A total waste of time.
Mate, I should have done Spanish or Portuguese. That's what I need in my life.
None of them.
Mate, the woman...
Because you wouldn't have remembered them.
No, mate, the woman in my life now, she needs me to speak Portuguese.
But you will pick that up so quickly because you need to, and you will be interested in it.
Yeah, but what
you would have been interested in it at 16 at school.
No, but if you talk about languages, kids need to know Mandarin or Spanish. They're the 2 main languages in the world, apart from English. Yeah, well, we struggle with that sometimes, don't we? But isn't it fascinating that no wonder you get a C in German at GCSE. I couldn't give a hoot about, you know what I mean? Like, why do we make people do stuff they don't want to do, and then we think they're going to try at it? If you think of education, my field, why are we teaching? Why if someone's in year 11, they're stressed out because of the exams, and we give them a sports option, right? Just as an example, why force someone to do rugby who doesn't want to play rugby? You're not going to get anything out of them, are you? So if you think about what people go on to do in a sporting context, most people go on and play a racket sport or football or go to the gym or do yoga, Pilates, generally speaking. Yeah. There's a few other sports. So why aren't we teaching people how to do yoga, meditation, gym, the things that they're actually going to go and do? Because it always seems like too much common sense.
They're probably not interested in it at that age.
Yeah, possibly.
How many 12-year-olds do you know that's interested in yoga?
No, but we should be teaching kids this to de-stimulate, because kids, I see it with my kids, every weekend my kids live a kid's stag do. They get up, football training, paddle tennis, play date, party, fixture on Sunday, another play date, someone else to do, then watch a film. It's a stag do.
Yeah.
I'd love to live their weekend.
And it doesn't cost them a penny.
Let's start a business where we pick people up.
Kids stag do.
Yeah,
Nick and Tom's kids stag do.
Mate, like adults, you pick an adult up, they know about it.
Bag over their head in the van.
Like in old school. You're my boy, Blue. Right, so you pick them up, you take them to do the stuff they've lost track of. Let's say you pick them up, you take them for 5-a-side on a Saturday, then you're down the golf range, then you have some food, then you go and do something else in the afternoon, like a stag do. Like everyone loves a stag do. That's what you do on stag do's.
Yes.
You become big kids again.
Yes.
So why don't adults at times re-engage with being a child? And you know why babies and children are generally happy? Because they don't know any different. So when you're born, the reason you cry is because when you come into the world, you've been in a womb, you've been nourished, you've been safe, you've been warm. You come into the world, you cry because oxygen goes into your lungs for the first time, and your body goes, "What's this?" That's why babies cry. Now, kids will do whatever they want. They go to the toilet when they want, they cry when they want, they laugh when they want. They experience the human condition constantly. As we get older, we, for whatever reason, condition or train people not to do that. Mm-hmm. So, men, don't cry. Don't cry. I cried. I don't cry much, but I want to cry more. Crying's really cathartic, isn't it? I watched the film Place Beyond the Pines, one of my favourite films, with Ryan Gosling, Bradley Cooper, Eva Mendes, Ray Liotta. Brilliant film, right? You should watch it.
What's it called?
The Place Beyond the Pines.
The Place Beyond the Pines.
Ryan Gosling is a motorbike robber. It's brilliant, mate. Anyway, it's really emotional. And I cried during that film, and I was like, crying's great. And I was thinking to myself, we condition people to stop engaging with their emotions. If you're a kid between the age of 1 and, 8, you're expressing your emotions all the time. If you find something funny, you laugh like, I would talk about the school stuff earlier, big funny in it. You laugh like that as a kid. So children love it. Children can express their emotions all the time. For whatever reason, when we become teenagers, it's almost like we say, repress your emotions. Don't show your emotions.
But who says that? Because I think it comes from the inside. I think we've become self-conscious.
School, mate, is probably part of it.
Nobody's ever told me not to laugh. I laugh. When I want to laugh, I laugh. When I swear, I swear. I do a lot of those things. I don't cry. I don't really lose my temper. But I've never been coached into not doing this. No, but what I mean is,
I don't mean we're deliberately conditioned. I mean, it's just a product of maybe the society that we grew up in. Like, here's one. How many times have you hugged your dad in your life? Properly hugged your dad?
Every time I see him.
Well, I'd say that's, from my experience, that's probably quite rare. Have you seen your dad cry?
Twice in my life. Once when his mum died, and once when my mum had a brain hemorrhage.
Wow.
Yeah, only twice.
So if you think about that, I know my kids have seen me cry loads.
But equally, it's probably two of the most devastating times I can ever remember in my life.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Seeing my dad cry is like, this is bad.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on right now, it's bad.
Yeah, your rock's crying.
Yes.
Yeah. But what I mean from that is, if you think about it, I'd try and myself and my ex-wife, without a doubt, have made our kids emotionally intelligent. Because I think that's one of the biggest gifts you can give. But you have to get someone to be in tune with their emotions, to understand that, what's right, what's wrong, what's to fail, to live, to have human emotions, right? But I've never seen my dad cry, and I've not got a great relationship with my dad. It's probably the biggest thing that eats away at me, right? But he never had a relationship with his dad, so it kind of got passed down the chain. I've never seen my dad cry. Like, it's weird when you think about that. Like, or I never saw my granddad cry. Never saw my nan cry until right at the end, towards the end of her life. I've seen my mum cry. But like it's going back to this male thing about like you know, that male thing of like, for whatever reason, we probably had some really while we had positive male role models in the 90s, there was lots of negative ones, weren't there?
Yeah.
In celebrities, and you know, go out, drink, drugs, sex, rock and roll. That, while it was glamorous, it wasn't good for us, was it? To put those people on a pedestal. You know what I mean? Like, to have like a hero was like, so in football terms, my hero is Brian Robson, right? Well, you know, Captain Mark, unbelievable, Captain Fantastic, what a player. But he was a hard guy, wasn't he? He was like, you know, Robson, Keane. These are the players where I'd be like, Mark Hughes.
Yeah.
You look up to them. Now, obviously, using Roy Keane as an example, you see a different side of Roy Keane in the media than what you see him as a player.
Yes.
Like, he's funny. He's sharp, isn't he?
Yeah.
But what I mean is the male role models we had wouldn't be like... I'm trying to think of a positive male role model. Like, so Matthew McConaughey as an example.
Yeah.
Or look at some of the people in the public eye now who are really positive male role models. Like some of the singers, they're in tune with their emotions, aren't they? They're promoting nutrition and healthy lifestyles more than, I think, what we grew up with in a roundabout way was quite toxic, wasn't it? So the FHM top 100 sexiest women thing, you could never have that now. But that's what we grew up with. We objectified women because that's what, in many ways, we were taught through the media. If you think about TFO Friday, it was about Chris Evans getting the hottest woman on with the biggest bands and talking about sex, drugs, rock and roll, wasn't it, really?
I don't see a problem.
No, I'm not, mate.
It would be a hit show now.
Mate, of course it would. But I'm not saying there's a problem with it. But what I'm saying is when that's everywhere, like it was about working hard, going out, and I think times have changed now where people look at them, you speak to people now, look at what you've done, look at what I've done. You open up about your health, you look after your body because you realise you need to look after it. So what I mean is the whole way things has changed. I end up having conversations with people about nutrition, about their exercise routines, about how they sleep more, how they read. You know, people talk about what they read or what they listen to influence them. Now, we never had the equivalent of a podcast in the mid-90s or a book that was telling you, like, do you know what I mean?
But the information was out there, and I think it was just...
Yeah, but I think it was hidden. It
was completely hidden because
it wasn't in our
all
world.
You would see what was on the TV or in the newspaper.
Yeah.
But those people that were in tune with their relationships and in tune with their emotions, it was out there. All that could happen, the message couldn't get out there.
Yeah.
I think really all that's changed is social media has connected people. But equally, do you think this generation now are going to fare better in the next 2 decades than our generation are faring now? Is the question.
That's a belting question. Initially, I'm saying yes.
Because
people... So I've got a mate who works with a lot of younger people. Now, well, I think we are blessed that we grew up where everything was... So we are humans. There's a human condition where we've got, you know, this wonderful body system, this wonderful brain, this wonderful everything. But we've all got our saboteurs. So there's a test that everyone can go and do from a guy called Shirzad Shamain. He wrote a book called Positive Intelligence, right? Your PQ, your positive intelligence, is your emotional intelligence and your IQ combined. So the biggest thing you can do, anyone can go and do, is develop their positive intelligence. That's the best thing you can do for yourself. Regardless of what you study, who you hang around with, your positive intelligence is the key. Because everyone has he's studied out at Stanford. He lectures at Stanford. And he's discovered everyone has 10 saboteurs. So people are talking, you spoke about it earlier, the devil on your shoulder.
Yeah, the chimp.
The inner critic, the chimp, right? There's 10 saboteurs. You can find out by doing this questionnaire what your top 2 out of 10 are. Then you can work on them. Mine's hyper-vigilant. So I was always the parent when the kids were at the playground. Well, they're going to fall off. They're going to fall off the frame. They're going to fall off the frame. So I'm there with I'm supposed to be having time with my kids. My brain, my little chimp,
always thinking about the worst things that could happen in that situation.
What's he doing? He's 10 foot off the ground.
Yeah.
He's on one foot. He's going to fall off, right? And you get people pleasers. So people, everyone knows those people who don't do anything for themselves. It's like you've got to look after yourself first. You have to look after yourself first. You've got to love yourself first. How can you love someone else if you don't love yourself?
Yeah.
It's not possible, is it?
No.
Right? How can you look after... Here it is. So...
Is this the test? Let's do the
test.
test.
Mate, do you want to do it now?
Let's
live?
do the test live.
Yeah, Rosie's going to do the test,
Let's
right?
do the test.
It's amazing.
Live.
But, mate, this is amazing stuff when you read about it. So, look, here they are.
Here we go, then.
Right, so look at these.
The controller.
So I'm hyper-vigilant.
Which is there.
Yeah, and I'm a hyper-achiever. So I always want more. I always want more.
Okay.
Like, so I think if I've achieved something, I think I'm not happy. I want to teach a better lesson, coach a better lesson. The big one there in the middle is the people pleaser, and the other one is victim, mate. We all know victims. People who the whole world's against them, and people deal with all kinds of horrible stuff. I'm not denying that, but if you fall into victim mode, that's a long way out, isn't it? Because if you think all the time you're a victim in your daily life, that's going to start eating away at you. So yeah, do you want to do the test, mate?
Let's do it. Because I'm looking at that
yeah,
now.
if you type in PQ test.
I don't know where I would fall in those.
Oh mate, I'll have a guess. This will be fun.
What would you say?
Oh no, I'm not going to tell you now. If you Google like PQ test, it should come up. Or try saboteurs positive intelligence test.
Because I was
if you go into the website, I think it's in the website.
Because I often do these types of things.
Here you go. Where's the actual test?
Grant program. This is probably one that you pay for, isn't it?
No, you don't have to pay for it. It's a free test. You go back a level to the main website.
Assessment and PQ score. Saboteur assessment and PQ score. I don't know. Maybe. But like, I've done these kind of things before.
Mate, they're fascinating.
What personality type are you? And I did this one thing, and it's
free
called
assessment. There you go.
Enneagram.
No, that's not it. That's something. Oh no, that is it.
That is it.
Right, here we go.
And
here we go, Rosie.
Right, here we go then. So I have high discomfort with conflict and avoid dealing with it.
There's 53 questions there, Nick.
Is it 53 questions?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Shit.
Do you want to do it?
Strongly disagree. I can be too much of a stickler or a perfectionist. Strongly disagree. I can't rest and need to be constantly busy. Neutral.
See, I'd argue at the
I am usually more anxious and worried than others around me. Neutral.
This would be an interesting thing. What you think?
Criticise others a lot more often than praise them. Strongly disagree.
Definitely disagree.
I have a strong need to take charge and be in control. Neutral, I think. I think that's something I've got better at. I take particular pride in being rational and analytical. Strongly disagree. I have a tendency towards being moody and melancholy. Neutral. No. Or, disagree, but not strongly.
There.
I measure my self-worth mostly through my achievements.
See, this is interesting. This is the trap I fell into.
My self-worth mostly through my achievements. Strongly disagree.
Yeah, but maybe when we were talking about 17, 18, 19, 20, mid-20s, would it have been different?
I don't know.
Because I used to define myself by my job or what I'd achieved. You know?
No. I have a very self-critical voice. Strongly agree.
That's the chimp, mate.
I am a pleaser. Agree somewhat. I procrastinate a lot. Strongly agree.
So do you think you overthink?
Possibly. I can't help but be a perfectionist. Disagree. I need to juggle a lot of balls at the time to prevent boredom. Strongly agree. When things go wrong, I tend to stay upset for some time. Agree.
How long? A long time?
Sometimes it can be a long time, yeah.
It's horrible, that, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm hyper-vigilant and always on the lookout for danger.
This is me, mate.
Strongly agree.
I'm hyper-vigilant.
Strongly agree.
Did Jamie tell you about what happened the other day?
No.
We were driving home and some person's pulled up beside us, like beeping their horn, like kind of like behind, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry about that." He's just driving along, and this guy's like honking beside us for like 10 seconds straight. I was like, "Do you not want to see what he's saying?" He's like, "Nah, I don't really care."
That, mate, that's a great place to be in. Someone told me once, if someone cuts you up, you know, the reaction is to like flash them or say something, whatever, just to go, ooh. and then carry on. If you do it, next time it happens, see your reaction. You laugh to yourself and go, you know what? It doesn't matter if someone cuts me up. Who cares? I'm in a car.
Others have described me as too controlling. Disagree. I have a tendency to feel sorry for myself.
I've fallen into that trap. That's a trap. You know,
No,
in Star Wars, it's a trap.
It's a trap. I came across as too analytical and intellectually arrogant. No, disagree. I am often annoyed by flaws and faults with others. Disagree.
Did you used to be, though? Did you used to find faults in other people when you were younger?
Maybe only in a sporting environment. Let's say I was on a football pitch or something and somebody's fucked up.
I used to get so annoyed with that.
Yeah,
People who couldn't control a ball.
Pleasing others and having them like me is very important. Pleasing others and having them like me is very important to me. Neutral. Don't really know what that means. I avoid dealing with conflicts to a point where they fester and become real problems. Agree.
Do you?
Yeah.
What for a long time?
Sometimes.
I thought you'd be quite...
Not always. Status and my public image are important to me.
But status and public image is a very different thing.
Neutral. I can't really give a
status
shit.
is more your financial.
I'm often anxious and highly vigilant. Strongly agree. I am very critical of myself. Neutral. I like things to be very orderly and organised. Strongly disagree. I feel restless and rarely at peace with what I'm doing in the moment. Disagree. I can be confrontational and forceful when I need to get things done. Yes, strongly agree. I'm criticised for or unfairly treated. I tend to withdraw, pout or sulk. Strongly disagree. When bad things happen, I tend to stay upset for some time. Yeah, kind of, agree. I tend to intimidate others with the intensity of my analytical mind. Disagree.
So I had a little flash there of you like intimidating people with your analytical mind, like in tennis, like as a coach.
Compared to others,
Go
I
to the
do
backhand
more
more
pleasing,
often.
rescuing or flattering of people. Agree. Life is about achieving and producing results for me. Neutral. Others tell me I am too much of a perfectionist. Strongly disagree.
Mate, would this be a good time for me to have a wee break?
Yeah, go for it.
Right.
I often find faults and flaws with others. Agree. I procrastinate on dealing with important but unpleasant tasks. Strongly agree. Others tell me I worry too much. Disagree. I get impatient with others easily and step in to push things forward. I get impatient with others easily and step in to push things forward. Agree. I easily get impatient and bored and want something different. Neutral. When I make a mistake, I beat myself up over it. Yeah, agree. I can be perceived as cold and too rational. Neutral. Sometimes I feel like a victim or a martyr. Disagree strongly. Whatever. I feel worthy mostly when I am successful in achieving. Agree. I'm so into helping others that I sometimes lose sight of my own needs and feel restfulness. Strongly agree. The circumstances of work or life significantly affect how happy I feel. Agree. How old am I? 45 years old. Ooh, I'm still not quite in that bottom category. What is your gender? Male. How did you learn about positive intelligence? I don't know. What is your current work status? Self-employed? Yeah. Do you provide coaching? Yes, I do. What kind of coach are you? Not really. Tennis. Performance. Oh, so we've got to email. That's all right. We can email. So yeah, I do quite often do these types of personality traits and things like that. And it's interesting. But I've got absolutely no idea of those 9 categories where I'm going to fall. I've got absolutely no idea. So we're going to see this right now. The results will be emailed. Let's see them. They're going to want us to buy it, aren't they? Of course they are. We've done them then, Tom. They want the email now, so we've had to email it. And
I'm not sure if you're on the actual
One.
Yeah, it might have been a sort of copy of a one.
Yeah, and we've got to try and buy it now. Or something.
No, that's not right. You've got to...
I don't know if we have. But
No,
it's saying it's
there's a
gonna send it to
free
us.
one. I'll send you the link. But you got the gist.
I got.
Can you go back to
I
the
did get the gist of it.
go back to the saboteurs, the image.
See, I've got absolutely no idea what category I would fall into.
What's it called?
Saboteurs.
Positive intelligence, Shirzad Shemaine.
How long ago did you do this?
So I did life coach training with him.
Oh, with this dude?
No, so when I did after my CTI stuff, coactive stuff, I did training with him.
Click
So
on that
I did the PQ training program with me and a group of coaches, and then you go into a pod of 3 people for 6 months.
Right.
It's amazing. So I'm just thinking of people. Well, you obviously think of the people. Thinking about what these saboteurs can do to you in a situation, say, right? And I'm not judging anyone, but say you've got a controller. Say you're in a relationship.
These are showing you what devils are on your shoulder.
Yeah, these are the 10. These are the 10 inner critics. All the research from like Stanford, Harvard, you name it. Years and years and years of research. This is what it boils down to in our brains. The 10 things that are going to get you, basically. So my 2 are hypervigilant and hyperachiever. And then in the book it explains what you have to do to try and combat them. And there's all kinds of physical exercises you can do. So to reset your brain, if you scrunch up your whole body and hold it for as long as you can, like your face, your fists, and all your muscles, and then release, that helps reset the situation. Simple stuff. Simple tactile stuff, like if you're stressed, rubbing your thumbs and fingers together, right? Meditating. These things all reset our systems. But if you say you fall into victim mode, and we've all done it, right? The world's against me. Like suddenly you get a flat tire and things are going bad or whatever. Like if you go too deep into victim mode, if you think the world's out to get you, that's a battle, isn't it? Every single day.
Yeah.
If you're in a relationship where you've got no balance, imagine being in a relationship with someone's controlling you. What if you're in a relationship and it's not 50-50, it's not all in. 2 people all in is where the magic happens, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Some people in relationships where they're getting controlled. I've got friends, right? So this is another reason why I got into life coaching, where I call them the coulda, woulda, shoulda people, right? The people who are brilliant at football.
Yeah.
Football. I always go to football.
Had trials.
Yeah,
Had
right.
trials for Aston Villa when I was
so
young.
down the pub, and your mate's telling you how good he was when he was 16, 17, 20, whatever. You still playing, mate? No. Why not? Don't have enough time. Okay. Got 2 kids. I've got 2 kids. Right. Got a wife. I had a wife, Yeah, so why don't you come down on Tuesday and play? Everyone 8 till 9, everyone plays. Oh, I have to check. I have to check with the wife. Okay. I've checked with the wife. Not going to work, because she'd have to go and pick so-and-so up from
cheerleading.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. But you value this, don't you? Yeah. Well, shouldn't you be in a relationship? I'm not saying, obviously, you go and play football every night. I'm talking about balance. So it fascinates me that people can't find an hour and a half in their week to do what they love.
Which one do you think you are then?
What we come? Should we?
Have
you got the results?
He's got them.
Do you want to?
Yeah. What do you think?
Shall I guess 2?
You guess 2. I'll guess 2.
Are you going to guess 2 last?
Yeah.
Right. You're definitely not a victim.
No.
No chance.
What's a stickler?
A stickler is somebody that won't
let go, won't let it go.
It's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay with my way of doing things.
I don't think you're not an avoider. I don't think you're a stickler or a controller. So I think we're looking at the other 5. Hyper rational, hyper vigilant, hyper achiever, restless, or pleaser. I would say, I would have said restless, but having seen you answer some of the questions, maybe I'd go pleaser, like to please people.
Yeah.
I would have said pleaser and restless, but I'll go pleaser and I'm not sure about hyperachiever now. I'll go pleaser and hyper rational.
I'm going pleaser and avoider.
You're an avoider. I never had that one.
I'm going for that. Let's have a look.
Who is this person? What are you going to say? Oh, right.
Oh,
I've done it, mate.
you've got it, and I was almost there.
Did I say hyper? No, no. Did I say hypervigilant?
You said hyperachiever.
Oh,
No. Did I say achiever?
You didn't say the vigilant.
Oh no, I've got one then.
wow.
So you're a
So
pleaser.
I was third. What I said. My third highest is an avoider.
My God, you know yourself.
Say again. I said pleaser. I said definitely pleaser. I said
Definitely. That was the first one I ruled off.
And I'm actually pleaser and hypervigilant.
Yeah.
Which
Mate, I ruled that one
absolutely
off
could
straight.
have
You're
been.
never a victim.
No.
No chance.
I'm not hyper rational.
I would have said you were I would
hyperachiever.
have said hyperachiever back in the day.
No. No.
No, but look at what you have achieved.
Yeah, but that hasn't been through a plan, through.
No, but you had a drive. Because when you go all in, you're incredibly driven. Look at what you've done.
Yeah.
You've been coach of the year. You've got a food business. You've got podcasts. You played tennis to a high level.
Yeah.
My mom's just sent me a video from the Diary of a Dominatrix. I was a bit scared.
Why has she seen it? How have you uploaded it?
No. Anyway, mate, what are your reflections on that then? So we're the same. We're hypervigilant people.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's enough. But we've got the same in our top two.
Yeah.
You should do it.
I'll do it in a bit.
Yeah.
Do you think it's important for somebody to do it at a young age, or do you think these things settle in as you get a bit older?
I think the
It
more
might change.
So thinking about on a personal level, the people I've met. So since I've been separated, I'm just thinking on a complete. I've had people approach me that I know, or that you connect with people, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, like back in the day, I connected with people, but not on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Right, this is why we're going back to this conversation I had with you 18 months ago. We connected, right? So I've had people approach me. So one of my life coach friends, and she connected with me. It's like there's something there. We've got a spark, right? There's something between us, and it's because we've done life coach training. And it's nothing like what's the word? It's nothing like a I can't think of the word. Nothing like like a relationship or anything like that.
No.
But there's a connection, right?
Yes.
But it's on a deeper level.
It's not romantic.
So, yeah, that's one. Yeah.
Yes.
So I never thought I could have female friends. I never had female friends when I was younger because I really struggled because I was like, yeah, I'd probably fancy them, or I didn't have the emotional intelligence to deal with it, right? Mm. Now I've got these people in my life. I've got a PT friend in Harborough. She's amazing, absolutely amazing woman. And we're going to go for a walk over Christmas to like Bradgate or something. And we've only met each other twice in real life, but we're always messaging. And it's like, you're just connected to people because you've done the self-work. She's been separated. She's now got a new relationship. She's got a new business ventures and all sorts. And we just connected. And you think, you connect because you've done the work. All the things you're doing nourish you, don't they? Or they're cathartic, or they help you, or you're getting support. You've been brave enough to put yourself out there and go, this is my story. You know, I nearly wasn't here, right? I've been clinically depressed at times. So it's like, you have to do the work. And all the people that do the work, this is where the gold is. This is where you see the benefits. So if you can understand, this is the human condition. This is all the research for the human brain, right? This is what control. And the other thing is our gut is our second brain.
Yeah.
There's as many receptors in your gut to how you feel as there are in your brain. So if your gut's not happy, if you're eating the wrong food, you're 50% unhappy all the time. No matter what else you do, if you could have whatever you want else in the world, but you're unhappy. Now these things here. So if you read his book, I'll lend it to you, right? People pleaser and hypervigilant. You learn how to live with and manage those inner critics, or fall into those traps. Then you'll be even better than what you are now, because that's the goal. And you know what? Avoid is 6.9. So you've actually got 3 that you would be. It'd be pretty foolish not to work on those, wouldn't it? Because going back to some of the really horrible ones, like imagine if you're a victim all the time. Every day you got up and said, oh, my boss doesn't like me, or my partner doesn't like me, or this is going to go wrong, or same old stuff, or why me, poor me, the poor me, you know.
Yeah.
So we've got that. We can't get rid of these. We've all got them. You can't get rid of your chimp. You can't get rid of your inner critic. It's the human condition. No one can make it. A billionaire can't go, oh, can I have surgery to get rid of my inner critic? It's the human brain.
Yeah.
We sabotage ourselves. We question ourselves. Think of an example where in tennis, I used to question myself all the time. I'm not good enough. And I've remembered times I've been on court and I just got in the zone and I thrashed someone because I believed in myself. But other times I'd be thinking, oh, they're going to be... You've lost before you got on the court. We've all done it, haven't we?
Mm.
You can do it with... You want to ask a girl out or something. If you talk yourself out of it...
Yeah, you've lost the battle before you've even started.
But what I'm saying is, in my life, since I've done the self-work, I've now got a new group of people who I can go to with problems straight away. No mess around. This is what I'm experiencing. They come to me. I get messages from people who go, Tom, I've got prostate cancer. I need some coaching. Can we have a conversation? Yeah, damn right we can, mate. I coached a mate of mine who I trained with, whose mum, his mum was developing Alzheimer's, and his daughter had an eating disorder, and he didn't know what to do. He was trying his best. I coached him through it, and he couldn't see that what an amazing dad he was being, and what amazing son he was being, and I helped him realise that, because I was like, he was beating himself up because he couldn't fix it.
Yeah,
it's like, ultimately you've done everything for your daughter, but ultimately she has to make the choice to help herself if she's choosing not to do what she should have been doing. So the point is when you do the work, things happen. And like, you've done the work, like from being the guy who was coaching all the time and drinking all the time, look at where you are now. You're doing the work. And like, a message to people would be, do the work. Like, there's another book called Time and How You Spend It by James Warman. The guy's an absolute genius. And we are, as humans, we're not supposed to be inside and online.
No.
This is all research out of the States again, right? You're not supposed to be inside and online. We have millions and thousands of people who work inside and online. So eventually there's stress and frustration before all the other stuff happens to people at work. Again, where they spend most of their time. We are supposed to be offside. We're supposed to be outside and offline. Now, you go for a walk through Bradgate Park every single time you feel better, don't you? Right?
Always.
Right? My sister goes for a walk with her mates every Saturday, without fail. They always feel better. So there's obviously a lot more research behind it. He wrote another book called Stuffication. Basically, we've got too much stuff. So you complicate your choices. So some guy who earns £1 million and works in the city has got 63 suits, designer suits, right? 200 shirts and 500 ties. He's got a problem every morning because he wakes up, he goes, those watch drawers people have? Yeah. He's got 50 watches. Straight away, he's created a problem. He's got a coffee machine that makes 17 coffees. Before he's left his mansion, he's created himself problems because his brain's going, what suit do you wear? Well, what aftershave? What watch? What coffee? All those problems. Now, somebody, I'm obviously generalising, if he's got disposable income and he's got 5 cars, we create a problem because he's now, which car does he drive? Right? I drive a 2012 Golf. Love it. Great car. I don't have that problem because to me it's just a car. I'd rather spend my money on other stuff. But if we have too much stuff, we complicate choices. Now, this now leads into the online lives we lead. Why people are dating online is because they've got too much choice. When we grew up, we had to look at a girl, find them attractive, build a relationship with them at school by chatting to them, then maybe ask them out and go out with them and actually interact with them. Now people can just like pick people up like a supermarket.
Like going through a catalogue.
Going
through the Argos catalogue.
So what the brain does is the brain goes, if you always want more, or you're restless, you go on a date, and that could be the lovely life, right? But your brain goes, Oh, I wonder if there's anyone else.
Something next.
Yeah,
There might be something better.
it's the people who make the money, and they're always chasing. They always want a little bit more, like an addict. So whatever they do, they want more. They take it to the extreme, whether it be clubbing, cars, women, experiences. We've all seen those people, right? We always have to have a little bit more. But it's just because they're not in tune with them, maybe not in tune with themselves. What do they really value, right? So you get people now who have less relationships, live by themselves, spend all their time online and inside. No wonder we've got people with more
mental
problems.
health issues,
Of
health
course.
issues,
You know, you can
relationship problems.
Say we were sat inside together, and you go, right, do you want some takeaway, mate? And we're going to watch a film. We'll probably spend 15 minutes about the takeaway because we can get anything we want delivered to the house, which is great, but it also comes with problems because back in the day, first of all, getting takeaway was a treat, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Like, it was a birthday.
Yeah.
Takeaway was a birthday situation.
McDonald's
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah. If you had takeaway once a month, it's the chippy. So it was chippy or curry, wasn't it? It wasn't like, oh, I'm going for Turkish or, really, or it was Chinese. But it was such a treat. Nowadays,
Now it's the norm.
you can have it whenever you want, delivered to your door.
Yeah.
So why on earth is someone going to go out for a meal when they can get delivered to their door? And that's another, it's why less people are hitting the pubs, less people are going to the clubs, people are doing things by themselves. In 20 years, someone's going to order like a hologram girlfriend or boyfriend or partner.
I don't even think in 20 years.
2 years.
Possibly. Yeah.
How scary is that?
You can already get these bot AI things that act as your girlfriend, can't you? Have you seen them?
Mate, that is the scariest thing.
And you have a conversation, and she gets to know you and ask, how was your day? What did you do at tennis today? And I've really missed you, and all of these things. That's going to get connected to a robot.
Yeah, but that is.
And then all of a sudden, it's game over, isn't it, for mankind?
It is, yeah, because we are built to interact. We are
social creatures.
Mate, we are chimps. We are built to.
Yes.
We are built to hunt and
Small
gather.
communities.
Yeah.
Where everybody's got each other's back. Everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
You have a baby, and the elders will look after it one day and look after it the next day, and all of these things.
It's the biggest one of the minute.
What's that?
It's like an AI girlfriend.
Okay, so here we go. So access
it's
to
not
Korean
even
AI.
like attractive.
No, but I don't even think it's about the face of it. I think it literally is. It's just, I think you get it to send you a text message and whatnot. So, you'll pick this up, and all of a sudden you've got a text message from Carrie, and it's saying, oh, hey, Tom, how did the podcast go?
It's Total Recall.
It is Total Recall.
It's Total Recall.
But the thing is, you're gonna have a.
See you at the party, Richter.
It's funny.
You think this
the
is the real Quaid? It is.
The guys that have been addicted to coke for 10, 15 years, he talks now about, as part of his recovery, he often pulls these things out of his nose that just come out like clots and stuff like that as it's healing. And he said it's like something from Total Recall. Can you remember when he?
Yeah. Mate, but the point, like, we fresh air, like the things that are free, the best things in life. I know it's a cliche, right? The best things in life are free. Seeing your kids being born, right? Interacting with your kids, being with your mates, interacting with a partner, going for a walk, mate. Right. So true story. The life coaching course, you had to introduce yourself to all these people online and tell them what was one of the best things that ever happened in your life. It was one of the first things we did. Like an icebreaker.
Yeah.
It's a French woman, a colleague of mine called Isabel, and she just came out of it and she goes, "When are you happiest?" She goes, "I'm happiest just after I've made love to my husband," and we lie there and go, "We just love each other." And I sat there and I was like, that blew my mind. A stranger has shared this. I came out with something like, I came out with
when
like,
you win.
Yeah, when was that?
2020.
Yeah, when Paul Scholes was it? No, when Paul Scholes came back.
Paul Scholes was resurrected.
Yeah, resurrect the Scholes. But I came out. I said when my kids were born. I remember when Daniel was born, and Louise had a C-section. So I had an hour with him, just looking at him, and it was like the best thing. I'm just looking at, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, "That's my son."
Just made a human.
Yeah, just made a human. Here's a human.
Just made a human.
It's the most incredible thing.
And now we've got to program it.
Yeah, but but this stuff is all going to get. We're doing so much stuff now. Like I don't have a games console.
No.
Because if I had a games console, I'd lose myself.
Would you? Would it still consume you? Because I still have them and never play on them.
No, but I'd be tempted. And as soon as you drop into some of the guys who can't find out how to play football, I tell you what, mate, they've got a PS5 and a massive games chair.
Yeah.
All right, and that's their way of escaping from their wife.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but you can't beat. You get the endorphins from playing sport or the adrenaline rush from doing experiences and interacting. I could be at home tonight just watching TV mindlessly, just scrolling through. Yeah. But this is an interaction,
Absolutely.
Right? So this scares the life out of me.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I don't have a smartwatch. I've got enough. That is a little Skinner box that sends me alerts all the time. I've turned off loads of notifications on it because I don't want them.
It's one of the best things you can do.
Right. I make sure... it's been bad recently, but I make sure I sleep. It's in a different room because otherwise, if it's in the same room and you wake up, you go to it straight away.
Correct. Yeah.
In this James Warman book, this is going to blow your mind. He did a TED talk in Manchester, and this was 5, 6, 7 years ago. It says life's about experiences, being outside, offline. 10% of people have admitted. So he's in this lecture theatre. He goes, "Put your hand up if you've used your phone during sex." Right?
Wow.
10% of people, so it's more now, use their phone during sex.
Now, could that be
accidentally
watching things together?
No, they've used it. They've reacted to an alert, a gambling alert, a football score, whatever notification comes through, the phone's near the bed or whatever, and they've glanced at it or they've checked it.
Wow.
Like when you go out, when young people, do you go out? I don't know, when you go out and you see people on a date in the real world interacting, and there's a couple there, and they work really hard, they've got kids or whatever, and they have this special 2 or 3 hours together, and they both sit on their phones. Yep. That's heartbreaking.
Yep.
I saw a dad. I was out with my mates on Tuesday. I saw a dad and his daughter, and they both sat opposite each other on their phone. They were there for half an hour. They're both on their phone for half an hour each. That's his time with his daughter. She must have been 17, 18. He's dressed up. They're obviously going to go and do something together, the cinema or whatever. They're just on the phone. I was like, that's heartbreaking. Like,
yeah, no, it is.
But this is scary. This is I wouldn't have if I got a PS5, mate. You might as well kiss. I'm a sponsored paddle tennis athlete. I'd
you would
kiss
very
it
quickly become an esports professional addict on FIFA or something.
Mate, people watch people game.
Yeah, they do.
What's
I
all
can't
that
get
about?
my mind around it. But do you know what?
Imagine if I came round to your house and said,
I quite
Nick,
enjoyed
I'm
watching
going to watch
play
you.
games.
I'm going to watch you play games.
But
You'd be like, Tom, this is weird.
I used to really enjoy my mates coming round and me watching them and giving them advice. Oh, no, did you miss that bit up there? I used to quite enjoy that, so I can kind of get it. But there was an interaction there. We were in the same room.
Yeah, but online, watching some guy in Japan playing FIFA. What's that about?
But there's also people on TikTok that put a TikTok live and they're just going to sleep. And there are people watching somebody just sleeping. That's fucking creepy.
Mate, unboxing, what's that about? Unboxing a gift.
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
I watch that kind of stuff.
Why?
Well, not like gifts. You sometimes watch like present hauls. So when someone has like those birthday presents, like you watch them, all that stuff, and then you have like unboxing. Like I don't even watch them anymore, but I used to. Like if they got a new.
You're backtracking now.
new device. Like
He's retracting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get it with maybe like a high-end product, but watching someone unbox some trainers, I'd rather go and buy the trainers. I'd rather go and hold the trainer.
Yeah. Smell the trainer.
Smell the trainer.
Yeah. Tom, it's 9 o'clock.
Mate,
We've
told
done
you I'd
like
waffle.
3 hours.
I told you I'd waffle, mate.
It's been a pleasure.
What can I ask you before we wrap it up?
Sure.
What's the biggest takeaway from us reconnecting?
You meet a few people in your life that if you don't see each other for 20 years, the moment you see them again, it's as though you saw them yesterday.
Yep.
And there are very few people like that.
Yeah.
But you certainly are one of them. I've probably got a handful of people where that would be the case.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of childhood memories, but our paths have been very similar as we split. And then sort of you come back together and it's like, yes, it's just really weird that you've gone through the same issues as I've gone through, and you've tackled them this way and I've tackled them this way. But ultimately, cherish the people that you can do that with.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much to pick up a phone and just reconnect. And you know, that bloke that sent you a text message and saying, don't forget you are loved and people are going to miss you. Yeah. That blew you away.
Blew me away, mate.
You don't realise sometimes how powerful a very quick message like that can be to somebody. Because again, like we've just been discussing, we live in a day and age now where we're more connected than we've ever been, but we're more disconnected than we've ever been.
100%.
You know.
It's frightening.
It is. But I think we live in the best time to be a human being.
We know so much more stuff. Imagine if 20 years ago, 23 years ago, whatever, you'd said, there's going to be these things called podcasts. I'm going to have one. It's going to be really successful. Oh, by the way, you would have been on one where I was contacted to go on it. I didn't chase it. And now we're talking about positive intelligence. I'd have been like,
mind blown.
Nick, what are you on about? Let's go and hit a few more tennis balls, mate, and eat some cheese toasties.
Yes.
And do you want a Pepsi Max?
With Verity, Ruth and
Verity. Oh, shout out to Verity.
Bless her.
Bless her. Oh, yeah.
I think Kate Woods was my first love.
I think Kate Woods was everyone's first
was
love.
she?
Yeah,
was she?
Was just, yeah. I'm still in contact with Kate Woods.
I didn't know it at the time. Do you know what I mean? You don't know that that's what's happening, but you think, yeah.
Yeah, but do you know what? If you think about, again, going right back to the start to the tennis club, it was all about interaction. So there were so many people, characters you met. The parents were so wonderful. They're like parents, second parents in many ways. Everyone helped out, proper community, what we're talking about. But you learnt to interact with girls because you had a mixed doubles partner. You couldn't not talk to her. Do you know what I mean? You can't play doubles with someone for a season, age 14, and go, like when can you
remember those Summer League things? That was all mixed doubles, wasn't it?
Amazing.
It was like Summer League tennis. You'd have
dating.
Three pairs.
It was like
Summer League dating, speed dating.
But I know young adults who are highly intelligent who don't have social skills. They've got everything going for them. I know adults our age who've got degrees from Oxford and Cambridge, but they're social. People. Everyone's different. We're quite extroverted, if you like, but people who are socially awkward, and it's heartbreaking because it's like you've got this potential, you've got these things to share, but you can't communicate it, or you're scared to communicate it because you think you might fail, you might look silly or whatever. And I think those, speaking to different parents and different people and playing with different people was massive, huge. So I think
seeing the highs and the lows during them matches of people.
Yeah, we had to deal with emotions.
Emotions, picking your partner up.
Yeah.
Because I always say to a lot of not even just the kids, but the people that I coach, your job as a doubles partner is not always to play your best. It's to try and get your partner to play their best. It's to you might not be playing particularly well at the time, but you've got to at least create an environment that your partner might be able to, because it's a pendulum, isn't it?
You've got to be a team.
You've had a great service game, and I've dumped a couple of volleys, and I just need to raise my game. But in the meantime, I need to keep you on the boil. Yeah. You don't want to be that energy vampire and the one chucking the racket around. And it's that team element. Yeah. But it's a very intimate team element. Yeah. It's not like a football pitch where your right winger's all the way up there and you're playing left back and he's having a nightmare. There's no interaction between you two. Yeah. There's interaction between you and your centre back and the goalkeeper. On a tennis match, every point, every emotion is a team emotion. And playing together, I often say to people, doubles is 2 against 2, but quite often it's 3 against 1. Yeah. And if you and even singles as well, it's sometimes 2 against 1. Yeah. It's you against your chimp and them.
Yeah, of course it is.
And the second that you can change that balance, I guess this is with the relationship and everything. Yeah, yeah. I always like the quote where people say, whenever you get into an argument with your partner over something, you need to both sit down and go, right, this is you and I against the problem.
Yeah.
This is not you and I against each other.
Yeah.
This is the issue. We're a team, and we're going to try and I like that, because it does resonate a little bit with what I've said to my kids. It's me and you first. Then we deal with the problem, and I will go all in to deal with that problem.
Yeah.
If I have to break you out of the prison cell at 3 a.m, we're doing that. But then we deal with it.
That's the video I want to see.
That's the video we're going to make next.
So
Tom,
waiting
look,
for.
it's been a pleasure.
Mate, what I'd finish with is say, like, we're obviously reconnecting after a long time through what we've experienced, but it's that honesty that helps, isn't it? Because you have to, if you don't open up about what you're experiencing, people will always help you, and people are helping you because of who you are and what you've done. Not I don't mean achievements, I mean the person you are. That's what it's all about. And there's a huge network of people that have helped both of us. So I think we need to thank ourselves for being us. As weird as that sounds, as cheesy as that sounds, but you've got to thank the other people who supported us.
Of course.
But so that's my advice to people. Do what you value and spend time with people who you value. And
enjoy the process.
Enjoy life.
Because quite often when you get to the goal that you think you've tried to set yourself, you get there and you go, I felt better trying to get here than I do now I'm here, because now I want to go to the next mountain. But it's climbing the mountain that's the turmoil, the slipping, that's where the beauty in life is. Yeah. It's not what happens at the end. It's the and as soon as you realise that, it's the process. It's always the process. Roger Federer feels exactly the same amount of elation winning Wimbledon as that 12-year-old boy winning the plate at Leicestershire Tennis Club does in his first ever tournament win. Yeah. Their feeling's the same. Yeah. The magnitude is way different. Yeah. But that feeling is the same. That process of getting there was felt the same. So it's.
I shared. Yes, I think it was yesterday. Obviously, I look at Djokovic at the moment as an example. Love him or hate him or whatever, but like he's a legend, and like he is helping someone in Dubai with their backhand yesterday. That's what he was doing. You're like,
what, during the tournament?
No, just practice. So he's just coaching someone. So they're hitting backhands, drilling backhands, shirts off, it's roasting in Dubai, whatever. And you're thinking, that's just a pure love of the game. Yeah. This is why this guy sat there at the end of the season and said, I respect the next generation, but I'm not going anywhere. Because he's got that mindset to look after himself, to keep growing.
And he loves it.
It's unbelievable. And like, look at what he's done to his body. The way he's looked after himself, gluten-free. I think I read somewhere that every time he wins a Grand Slam, he eats 1 square of dark chocolate. So this last year, he's had 3 squares of dark chocolate. That's discipline.
That's discipline. I bet they tasted good.
Yeah, but you had the second, wouldn't you?
I'd have 3 bars.
Mate, it's been a pleasure.
No
Thanks for inviting me on.
Welcome,
and
anytime.
Yeah, I'd love to see what you're doing, mate.
Cool. Good man.
Right.
Woo.
Over and out.